Oh. Yo, yo, yo. Is that my boy, Sean?
What is going on?
What is up, my boy? How are you doing today?
I am doing exceptionally well. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. This is a long time in the making. I'm gonna turn you up.
Yes, it is.
Hell yeah.
My boy. Yes, you were gonna learn how to play
Ritual Beast. You're gonna learn a bunch of combos and stuff. So we're gonna talk about specific builds.
Yep.
This is all gonna be improvised, by the way. But we're gonna talk about tech choices. We'll talk about what are good things you should be looking forward to with your builds and like certain outcomes and setups. I built Ritual Beast like a 20 card variant, a couple of versions on Yugioh Pro. So on my stream, I'm going to show off some combos afterwards, because it'll be a lot easier to show them off on Yugioh Pro than trying to find random games on Duel Links here.
Yeah. Only scroll through about 5 duels, 10 duels.
Oh yeah. Well, we can just reset until we get the one-up Pengu in our hand.
Yeah, just keep resetting.
So I'm gonna do a quick shout out here to my boy Seanmatrai, who is currently on call with me. If you're not followed to him, do so. He is a god of Ritual Beast. He is the Laura's man, and I am the Windus man.
And he is the Windus man.
And we are together now to talk about the best deck in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yes, the best deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! So you are learning.
Yeah.
Wait.
You're gonna learn how to play Crystron. Wait, no, hold on. Wait, that's not the right deck. Wait, hold up.
That's not the right deck at all.
Trickstarfly says I'm Wendy's man. Are you Wendy's man or are you a Wendy's man? Because I could use myself a couple burgers myself, you know. Alrighty, so so what I'm gonna do here, Sean, is in the Discord I'm gonna screen share my game, so you can also if you want to also like maybe copy the same list that I have, and we can talk about some specific stuff.
Yeah. Otherwise it's gonna get confusing.
Yeah. So I'm gonna show off my Duel Links screen to you right now. So you should be able to see that. Hopefully it's...
I am logging into my main Duel Links account.
Alright, sounds good.
I was about to log into my Triumid account, and I'm like,
the Triumid account. Wait, hold up.
Hold up.
Not Triumid, that deck ruins us. We don't like that.
It was like on my cog rank up, I'm thinking to myself, I said, well, I opened kind of suspect. It was kind of one of those weird hands.
Yeah.
Where I opened up like double Windakana and a bad aim. I was like, well, none of that really helps us.
My last opponent against Triumid, I had a pretty nice hand. We had Elder Petalfin Hawk Return Book.
Oh, yeah, that's really nice.
Jared says, show us the back of the pillow. Tell Elizabeth I said no, not yet.
It was on the rank up.
I know she's I know she's putting you at gunpoint hostage right now too.
I died to sin. I'm like, I died to sin here. I said, I gotta hope my opponent can't rank 4, because if they don't rank 4, we win. I said, if I keep Winda alive, we win.
Right.
And then he goes, and then he activates Martin in Grave. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, Martin in the Grave bounces a Saber Dancer, and you get nothing because it wasn't returned to the hand.
Like,
Yo, Glad, what's up? Triumid, this
like,
isn't Stephen Fresh's stream, right? Alrighty.
Like, what?
So you see that... Oh wait, hold up. I just went out of the deck list. So here is what I've got built right now. If you want to build something similar, we can kind of talk about it. And then we can talk about our ideas on what things we might like to change. Other additional options for the deck.
Okay. Well, I'm going to Discord now. That the game just... Okay, cool. Now I got your screen up.
Nice.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Yeah.
Double book.
Right?
I think yeah, we're definitely
we can also talk about like alternative options. We don't have to like because saying that Book of Moon is mandatory isn't true in the slightest. You don't need Book of Moon.
It's not.
It just helps a bit better.
Top of your list. Yeah, Book of Moon does help a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
That's my Chronomaly.
Chronomaly, Bouncer, but I mean, also at the same time, there are cards like Chalice. The future of Ritual Beast. Let's go.
Let's get over to Yami. Yeah, so guys, if you guys are afraid that you need Book of Moon, you do not.
Also, how is Sean's audio on my side, by the way? Hopefully you can hear him nice and loud and clear. As myself. It should be good though. You sound really good on my end.
Huh?
Yeah. So you should be good. Good? Yeah.
Okay.
It just says we're all good for audio. Sounds fantastic. Alright.
Good. I had to get out of Konami's microwave for a second.
So here's a fun fact, Sean. So you know I have 182 windows now.
182
windows.
Let's go.
Yeah, but did you also know I have 758 Lauras?
Holy mother of God.
Because she is a common, right?
Yeah,
she's a normal rarity card, so we have a lot more of the other ritual beasts outside of like Hawk and Ulti Paleo. I just gotta convert all the other ones, so that's just gonna take a long ass time. But I'll have a lot of wind gems. Alrighty.
Konami, get me out of your microwave, please.
Are you having problems too?
Like,
at the end of my
now out of the microwave.
at the end of my stream, yesterday, I loaded into a game against Slender Dragon. I'm like, okay, yeah, I just switched to Destiny Jar Ritual Beast because I played like 3.5 hours of Gusto. Let me play some Ritual Beast. I load in, and my hand is like pretty good. It's a Hawk Window Return hand. Okay, and they have and we had book as well, so we could book away the bouncer. So he says turn 1 bouncer, passes the turn, and I get disconnected immediately. No warning whatsoever.
Get microwave off.
Yep.
Oh,
I got disconnected immediately. How many Ulti Pelios do I have? I have 4 Prismatics. How much is that now? 15, about what, 113? 113 Ulti Pelios?
So triple, double, yeah. Exactly. Standard Pedalfin style extra deck here.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, Sin.
Triple, 3, 2, 1.
Yes, 3, 2, 1, 70. I can count.
3, 2, 1, Sin. See? It's very easy to count.
Stan Kinchunga says DL is literally unplayable in the PvP. That too. That's another reason why I wanted to use Edo Pro, is because the game has been very unstable for PvP, as it seems. Normal Apaleo. Oh yeah, we have a lot. How many does that say? It isn't quite 855 Apaleos.
Yeah. Woo!
Some we've opened up, more others. I need to like actually clear out some of these, so I need to make sure that window is the most amount of copies of a card I own.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll take like a whole afternoon though to clear those out.
Just clear out like 700 Apaleos.
Yeah.
Alright, so game gave me 3 Prismatama 3. Ooh.
Alright, so I'm gonna do another, for people who are here now, I'm gonna do another shout out to Sean.
What's going on?
Sean is on call with me. We're gonna get started very soon with this and talk about Ritual Beast and everything, the ins and outs about it.
Yeah.
This could be a long stream. It probably will be a long one, let's be real.
Yeah, our discussion.
Yeah, because there's a lot to digest involving Ritual Beast.
There is. You guys gotta understand what's going on in every point.
Yeah.
Of the duel.
It's been so long since I've been in stream, but that Prisma window never increased. What are you talking about? There's 4 of them. We have 4 Prisma windows.
Yeah.
In fact, yeah. I literally got 3 Prisma windows. I opened 3 Prisma windows, said, you know what? That's not good enough. I needed more. So I ended up with my breakthrough skill and Red Eye's Fang with Chain money. I used that to upgrade because I haven't, unlike everyone else who has prismatic windows, I never actually got the chance to upgrade a window to prismatic. So I decided, why not?
Wow.
Let's do it. So I upgraded to a 4th prismatic window.
Exactly.
TL Senator says, Mr. Streamer, why can't I Fiendish Chain Elder? I think the game is bugged. Well, Mr. TL Senator, you're not fast enough.
You gotta be faster.
You gotta be faster. We'll talk about stuff like that too, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you can't Fiendish
Please
Chain
don't be the
Elder.
people
Yeah.
on the
Well,
Don't want to be.
we still pulling from the mini box. We're pulling from 2 mini boxes now, because we don't just want Ritual Beast window, we want Gusto window as well. And you know, we might get a Prismatic Palika and an Eagle out of the mixture as well. So we have that.
And please do not be one of these people on the ladder who Fiendish Elder. Don't be one of my opponents, okay?
Exactly. Yeah, you need. Yeah, OG says you need to Floodgate Elder.
Yeah.
I have.
Quick enough, it may not summon another monster.
I've had this week. I've had several Elders get Floodgated in Book of Moons, and several Windows getting Breakthrough skilled.
Hey, just this week I had a Magnet player activate Gorgon on my window, so you know.
Activate. Oh yeah, right. Same idea, dude. I'm so glad there's so many Gorgon decks out there now, cause like the Gusto deck just free rolls that matchup so hard.
Yeah, it just rerolls.
We don't care about our stuff, our effects getting negated, because all of our stuff floats and is in defense position anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice vanilla Exceed that you made 2 materials with.
Yeah, exactly.
Alrighty.
Alright.
So shall we get into this then?
Yes, we shall.
Alright, so this is Ritual Beast. There are 2 primary versions that you want to be playing right now, and it's really up to preference to which one you want to play. Personally, I think the Destiny Draw version is a lot more fun, but I do think the Endless Trap Hell version is better suited for what the meta is trying to do right now. Just because, like, Ritual Beast has a lot of aggressive plays, especially with the Destiny Draw version, but there are some like scenarios and some matchups where the aggression isn't good enough, or there's just nothing you can really do. With the Endless Trap Hell version, like all the traps, you can always. It's a lot easier to fall back on a defensive strategy and actually go for deck out strategies. Also, with there's so many players playing hand traps, you want a version like Endless Trap Hell to invalidate most of the hand traps.
Exactly.
Because with Destiny Draw, a lot of times when you go in to try and finish off your opponent and they play a Veil on you, well, maybe now they're just going to have a combo, right? Whereas and then they stabilize, and then you have to work harder to crawl back into the game when they draw 2, banish Roars, summon a Levi, summon another Dark, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Played Ritual Beast against TDs, and my god, it was long and exhausting.
Yeah.
TDs are pretty much a free win. Most of the time,
if you open up like there are times where it is bad, like and that's another reason why I like Endless Trap Hell, is because when your opponent has the nut draw, when they have the nut draw, it revolves around like a bunch of searches and a bunch of mailing with like Charge of the Light Brigade, right? And because that churns through their deck, that allows you to actually put the deck out strategy with the Endless Trap Hell version as a primary win condition instead of actual damage. Because they're going to keep on recurring resources anyway. Your best option there is to stay defensively. And then the real game ends up being, how much can you stop? Like, can you stop the Helio? Can you stop the Levi? And most importantly, can you beat the Dragon Duo?
Yeah, exactly. One of the big things, and I'm going to talk about that I did play in my Endless build, I played a personal tech Diagusto Emerald.
Oh, yes.
This was cucking the duo because I was able to put Laura back, so you essentially run 2 Laura.
Yeah.
And you also get extra pedal bounces. So getting those bounces, just getting their lights specifically out of the grave, because they're going to run out of lights a lot quicker.
That's a big thing about that matchup particularly is don't feel sad about having to bounce Levianir if they're just going to play next turn, because their resources are not infinite. And in order for them to really punch through, they have to use their Hawks. And they don't have many of those, right? Because a lot of the time, on average, on the first turn, you're going to use like a Roar and a Dark effect they only play 2 roars generally, so at most they're only, on average, they're only going to get like maybe 3 to 4 Hawk activations.
Exactly.
Which is about, I'd say maybe 3 to 4 special summons off of Levi and Dragon Duo. So if you can consistently bounce the Levianeers and still end on like a Paleo and Ulti Petalfin, or a way for Ulti like a way to take out to double Winda and then float into like a Paleo and Ulti Petalfin, then you're just gonna outgrind them. They're gonna run out of banishes, and eventually they're just not gonna have anything. And also, if they're playing hand traps, what they mostly are, that gives you more time to actually set up and relax.
Couldn't have said it any better myself. Another thing too is most people are on the Sark build now. So if they're on the Sark build, they are not going to have access to Raiden, which is another life for them.
Yeah, I mean, some versions, I've seen some people play both Sark and Raiden in the same deck.
Yeah, but them having less life gives you a lot easier to grind through them, because once you start poking their duos, they have no way to come back.
Yeah.
Then they gotta deal with the back row that you have too.
Exactly.
So if you floodgate duo in an ETH build, it's devastating. Because if you say flood for the duo, then they have to tribute over it, and then they have to hawk or roar it back to me.
Well, getting to it, like, really understanding their board state too helps a lot too.
Exactly.
Because level dupe is no longer a skill that they can use, you don't have to worry about Lupine, like, ever. They summon Lupine, the only way they can really get rid of it is if for some reason they're playing tuners in the deck and synchro plays. Or they tribute someone over. So a lot of the time, they'll go Lupine, and then they'll try and make a rank 6 on you and then Levi you. That tends to be the big, like, standard, like, opener. That board clogs them, actually. So if you can negate the Levianeer, if you're able to, like, answer the XYZ monster and negate the Levianeer with, like, a Fiendish Chain, then you pretty much are set up. They have to tribute over and, like, find a way to out their own board. Just remember that M7 can return their own stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, so they can reset the board that way. But if you can answer a bouncer, you can answer a Levi, then you should be pretty go with a window wall. All about by back row.
Exactly. Another thing too is most of the hand traps Thunder Dragons play are not really a threat. For example, Spear does nothing.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people tech back in Temperance and Trifortress Ops. Mostly because they're...
that I want to bring up is the best way to deal with Trip is just to wait it out.
Yeah.
They're gonna have a rank 6, but
well,
most of the time in the ETH, just deal with it.
Yeah, I find Triff, honestly, I thought Triff was going to be a lot bigger, like a lot more of a problem than it actually ended up being. It's actually not that bad of a problem, because when you're going for a lines to play anyway, like even if you go for a lethal line, it doesn't really matter, because the way you're going to set up your board is, they're going to summon Triff on you during the battle phase, but you're still going to have a tag out to double Winda and still end on Petalfin, Ulti Paleo, or Ulti Petalfin and a Paleo. That's your best setup against Thunder Dragon, is if you can end each turn either with tagging out into double Winda and being able to float back into your fusion and a Paleo with an Elder and a Hawk, like, still banished, or a way to get them banished. Or just ending on Ulti Petalfin and a Paleo. You might have to play catch up if the Paleo dies, which likely will happen. But if they can't deal with both a Paleo and Ulti Petalfin in the same battle phase, pretty much. Because, like, if they summon Bouncer, what do? They negate the boost, and then nothing runs over the Ulti Petalfin.
Right, exactly.
Or they can not negate the boost and opt to negate the tag out, but then you just don't tag out, and you just utilize... And this is part of the reason why I like searching Petalfin in the early game, is because after they do that and you're left with... They kill the Paleo almost always, right? So you're left with Ulti Petalfin and the Petalfin in hand. So they do their big play. The best they can do is they can get rid of... They make a Bouncer, they make a Levi, and then they leave you with an Ulti Petalfin that's at 3,300. Completely unthreatened. Don't take on the Bouncer, obviously. You can summon your Petalfin, bounce the Bouncer, they're forced to negate, and then you can tag out of the Ulti Petalfin there and just start comboing off, and then that's how you'll be able to outgrind them completely.
Yeah, if they threaten the bouncer, you know, an option is to take on the double Winda and on Winda, Paleo, and then ulti Pedalfin.
Yeah, if you expect the bouncer and you don't think you have another line, like let's say you ended up on ulti Paleo, right? You have ulti Paleo, nothing else, double Winda banished. You see the second 6 come down, you immediately want to tag out to double Winda.
Yes, exactly. They're not gonna have a way to deal with that. Now, the one thing you do want to be careful of, I want to bring note, is that if they have a dark in hand, Duo can get up to 31.
Yes,
so that's
if they have any Thunder Dragon they can activate in hand, they can, and it's not even just Thunder Dragons, it works off of like Sphere Karibos too.
Yeah.
So let's say you have, like, not that you would do this anyway, but let's say you had, like, they had a Roar and a Duo in play, and they wanted to threaten one of your RBs, and you had, like, a Sphere Kuribo in hand. If you Sphere Kuribo the Dragon Roar, the Dragon Duo will go up to 3100.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I like how nowadays RB players can make ways to win, unlike Invoker.
Simple.
Yes.
I see Ritual Beast, I click. See, that's it. Ritual Beast best deck. See?
Always best deck. Always.
Yeah.
Alright, so should we go over the list then? We should probably talk a bit about...
let's go over the list.
Yeah. So let's talk about what I would consider the complete core of Ritual Beast. Yo, Go Guitar Age, how's it going? So, 3 Winda, 3 Canahawk, 1 Pedalfin, double Elder, 1 Apaleo, 1 Laura. 1 Return and 1 Bond, I would say, is core, complete core for Destiny Draw RB.
I agree.
The second Return and the Pangu are both optional, I'd say. And then I personally, especially when I'm playing Pangu, I like to play the second Return.
Yeah.
Because I don't generally I don't like going for Pangu combos if I have like 1 return. Like I think if you play 1 return and you use your return early, it's a lot of like resources. It takes a lot of resources to use Pangu combos.
I play Pangu because it gives it another name.
Yeah, it's
in Deej where you're trying to combo, in ETH you're not.
Yeah, so Pangu also is a combo starter and extender. For the sake of Elder, like there are Elder Pangu combos, and there's a combo with Elder Hawk with Pangu that lets you end on like the best possible banish pile. Like
yeah.
It lets you end on like.
The only time I will say this that you do not want to go Elder Hawk Pangu is against heroes because that makes you end on an Apaleo, which they can plasma.
Yes. Yes.
So in that situation, I just like to go Elder Hawk double win.
Yeah. Also, Laura. when doing return plays too, like there are matchups where the return play is clearly better, but always keep in mind that your Apaleo is not likely going to survive. So you want to be able to do it in matchups where you think the 3300 on ulti Pedalfin is going to make a difference. Specifically, Thunder Dragon is one of those big matchups that does that.
Oh yeah. It's
also having, I'd say Onomat too, just having extra bodies in play, because an Onomat can OTK through ulti Pedalfin with double Winda tagged out. If that's all you have, they can OTK through that, and the way they do that. The way they do that is when they have the sister play, right? And they have 2 options they can make. They can make the if you don't tag out, they can make Photon Strike Bouncer to negate the tag out, and then summon use Coat to summon like Utopic or Dodo Dwarf, and then they'll make Sin, and then they'll Sin away the Pedalfin. And if you tag out, they negate you with the bouncer. However, if you tag out before the bouncer happens, instead of making bouncer, they'll make M7. They'll bounce a Winda, and then they'll go M7 bounce the Winda, and then they'll also do the Sin play and banish the other Winda, and then that's lethal too. So with that in mind, I like having. I like having the That's why I like the hand traps are good, and why I like having the extra body and a Paleo in play. Yeah.
Exactly. Very good point.
Yeah. For tech choices, there's a lot of really good techs you can play in Ritual Beast. and I love that's one of my favorite things about the deck is that the deck building is so flexible. There's so many things you can put in Ritual Beast and have it do like just fine. My current choices right now are a double Sphere Kuriboh, because like hand traps are I feel like are very important. The only issue with hand traps and the only reason why I cut down hand traps is the Gaia matchup.
Oh yeah, the Gaia matchup is one, yeah.
The Gaia matchup is quite horrendous if you play multiple hand traps.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I got double book and I'm still playing a lightning vortex. I like it a lot less now than before.
It's not really a meta where you want to run it.
Yeah, I almost would even cut the lightning vortex for like
I feel the same way.
Like I could cut the vortex and the Sphere Kuribohs here and just play like a third Book of Moon and maybe a couple copies of... Do I even have it?
Cosmic isn't bad either, just to get rid of field spell. Cosmic or MST just to get rid of the field spell.
Yeah, I like sideboarding or side decking back removal. Forbidden Chalice I think is actually really good this meta.
Chalice is good.
I've been meaning to try a build like this. Maybe we actually cut the Pengu for another like tech of some sort.
Yeah.
For this specific build. But and also there was someone in the meta weekly who was playing the skill reload, which I kind of want to try out too. I think that could be kind of interesting. We could even play like a Sphere Kuriboh in the spot and just kind of roll with this for a line of defense. But yeah, personally,
I think it's interesting, but I think by the time you get to turn 5 in this meta, you're either dead,
especially for a faster version such as this too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
if you're in the faster version, you're probably dead by turn 5.
Yeah, and like, what are you trying to send back, right? Like, you're not even guaranteed like specific cards, right?
That's what I saw it on the ladder too. And I'm like,
so like, yeah.
Interesting, but if you're dead. What are you sending back?
Yeah. So like, what's the ideal scenario, right? We had our board broken. We don't have much left. We have a Ritual Beast return in hand. What happened? We draw a Chalice. What best case scenario? We reload into Elder Hawk.
Yeah.
But like, what are the chances of that? It's literally 2 draws.
How about this game's RNG anyway?
Oh right.
If I go reload, I'll reload into Double Hawk.
Alright. So yeah, yeah, like Sean said though, Cosmic Cyclone and Mystical Space Typhoon are both options you can play in the main deck, and it will be fine. Like they'll be just as good as well.
Is quick enough to deal with other potential back row threats as well.
One of the biggest weaknesses of the Destiny Draw version of Ritual Beast is Treacherous Trap Hole, because a lot of the decks that play Treacherous Trap Hole can beat through a set window, right? So sometimes you actually sometimes you have to, in order to punch through, you might actually have to go for a combo if you have it. Like if you have Elder Hawk Winda, you kind of have to use your best judgment and kind of understand. Like if you think your opponent has Treacherous, you obviously have to set the window, right? But if they can beat both these lines, like ask yourself these questions when you're about to make a play for your turn. You say like,
another thing I want to bring up. Yeah.
For sure. I'll just finish this here real quick. So like you'll be put into a scenario like say you have Elder Hawk Winda. You'll have to ask yourself, should I go for combo here or should I do something else? Like my cog rank up against Gaia, my hand had Elder Hawk and Winda, and they had the Gaia in play. They didn't have any back row, so I came to the conclusion that the best line here was to go Elder Winda, because if we go set Winda, and we have a couple back row too, right? But if he has like back row removal on top of it, or like Chalice, we can just punch through a back row, then that would be a problem, because he has the Gaia field spell. We don't have any real way to deal with it. The best line here is because like normal summoning Winda as a second body, it effectively does the exact same thing as setting Winda face down. The only difference is this leaves more room for error from the opponent. So we go normal summon. If we go normal summon Elder, normal summon Hawk, he pops the Hawk and we have no play.
Then you lose.
If we set the Winda, then he pops our back row, and then he just makes another Gaia and he runs over us. He pops the back row, maybe he has a chalice, and then he runs over the window. We don't get any effect. And then he's got another pop next turn for the Elder Hawk that we decided to sandbag. So
Exactly.
we go Elder Winda here. He chooses not to pop any. We go into Altia Paleo, set to back row, and now we have a line that actually works. Because he has his Gaia's in defense mode. We can pressure the Gaia. If he tries to pop the Altia Paleo here, we can tag out Refuse, because it's a main phase effect.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
it's just those kind of little things like edges to tell yourself, what should the correct action I should take, and that's a big part of Ritual Beast, is understanding what lines you need to take and when you should go for certain things, and if you have to go for certain things.
That's what me and World is saying. So you have a lot of lines, like.
Yeah. So the too long don't read of this is, if you MST something with that hand, then the answer is a lot easier. You just go Elder Hawk and combo off, right?
Now, talking about one of my favorite techs in the deck is MST, because MST right now, it answers a lot. When you're playing combo, the biggest threat for you is Tretch and Gaia. So MST deals with Tretch.
We may have triple window in the deck,
well,
but we don't always have access to the windows.
And
also,
if we MST a back row,
if you MST a trap card,
trap,
and they have a Tretch, then you might just be left with a dead Tretch.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I feel like MST is so good right now. It's also good, specifically against a lot of random matchups that you may face in the case.
Yeah, there's a lot of like.
Megalith.
Yes, Megalith is a good one.
Megalith people are starting to pick up on.
Yeah, if you hit their their emergence at the right time, they might not be able to play the game.
Yeah, exactly, and by hitting their emergence, they are literally screwed.
You can also play Cosmic Cyclone that will actually be better versus things like Triumid.
Yeah.
But you gotta keep in mind though, like by using Cosmic Cyclone, it could be good for D-Draw and bad for D-Draw, because if you use Cosmic Cyclone against Blue Eyes, for example, you're no longer able to take a free hit from a Blue Eyes to have Destiny Draw be activated.
Right, exactly.
Whereas MST will basically do the same thing in that matchup, except you'll have more wiggle room with your life points to work with.
Another thing about Cosmic that I don't like is it's kind of bad against Tretch, because if you banish a different back row, then their Tretch is still alive.
Yeah. I mean, most of the time, Tretch decks are going to be mostly on double Tretch and then triple Book of Moon anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So that line doesn't really come up as much, but it would, as a top deck contingency plan, if you MST a Treacherous and they top deck a second Treacherous, it's a dead Treacherous. Whereas for Cosmic Cyclone, that's not the case. Another bonus point though for Cosmic Cyclone though is because Hey Trunade is banned, there is an uptick in back row related decks like Endless Trap Hell decks such as Shiranui and even Ritual Beast, right? And there's just some random rogue decks that are also trying to play a lot of back row. I know I've seen a lot of Chronomaly lists like load up on back row. That's where having if you're playing Endless Trap Hell though, Cosmic Cyclone is better at fighting those than MST, especially for Ritual Beast, just because you generally don't want to get to the point where they can activate Endless Trap Hell in the first place, and just Cosmic Cyclone makes that much easier to achieve.
Exactly. Very good points. Another thing too is if you are against one of the common matchups in the Casey Cup might be Triumid.
Yes.
In order to understand I do know Triumid quite a bit. I do play them. Triumid, you have to know how to play against them. One thing that I see a lot of people do, and it irks me, either randomly just Book of Moon them in the main phase when they have two monsters out there that just book out of nowhere. And they'll also just MST out of nowhere. You have to make sure, if you're going to MST or Cyclone Triumid, make sure that they have no other monster effects that they can chain to their field spell.
Yes.
So when they go to swap out a field spell, You got to make sure that they're on their last chain, because if you activate, let's say they have a hunter and a master on the field, and they go to have a field spell, and you go and they activate their master effect, and you cyclone that, they're just gonna tag into another field spell, and you're gonna lose. So if they have a cruiser out there with a hunter master, they'll just use the second effect.
Yeah,
on the
do a lot of your
back.
the one way to really attack Triumid, especially with like back remove like Cosmic Cyclone, is just do stuff at the end of their turn. They can't swap field spells on their own turn as a quick effect. If you hit them on the end phase, that stops all that cheeky grindiness that they could potentially have.
Yeah,
also, when they summon their hunter, just book it right away. Do not give them an opportunity to have that extra normal summon. Because having face-up Triumid monsters and multiple Triumid monsters in play is very bad. Because
very dangerous.
If they end on King Golem, not only is that offensive pressure against you, and like your window setups in the way you can play the defensive game, it's also very offensive, or as used as a defensive line, because if you try to bounce their Triumid monster, they can swap out the King Golem, their Triumid will go back to the hand, and then the effect of King Golem will happen, and they can just resummon this exact same Triumid.
Yeah, exactly.
And all the Triumids are soft once per turn, so they can do that effect again, even afterwards. Even if it's the same Triumid monster.
Very, very, very scary.
Yeah.
Triumid is a very scary deck in general, because if they gain it, it's very easy for them to gain advantage.
Yes.
They can gain advantage really quick. Like, you see their first turn board, you're like, oh, okay, this is not impressive. But by the time they get to turn 2 and 3,
honestly, if I'm
down a 5,000 Sphinx,
the looks can be deceiving. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
If they go like Master, Field Spell, double set back row, I'm literally like quaking in my boots, like.
Yeah.
Because like that cruiser is gonna find the Sphinx. Or like, and that's another big thing too, is cards like Needle Sealing for that matchup can be very good or horrendous. But again, it's the same kind of principle as like Cosmic Cyclone.
I find it more horrendous because the people who are generally playing Tribe in the KC Cup know what they're doing and know how to read macro correctly.
Trickstar 5 gifted a tier 1 sub to Winda. What the? Is there? Oh my god. It's because there's a person. Is there probably a random person who deserves a 69th gifted sub? Thank you so much, Trickstar 5. That is incredible and hilarious.
So you go up in the KC Cup, and people sit there, and if they read your Needle Sealing,
oh dude, that is. There is nothing more demoralizing than playing against a Triumid player who is playing around Needle Sealing.
Yeah, it's so demoralizing.
Dude, it's like, what? It's like, come on, just go to King Golem, please. I don't say this often. Yeah. Just swap the King Golem.
Swap the King Golem.
And then they always use their second last effect to bring out the fortress. I'm like, God dang it.
Yeah. Well, they'll just like, you know that they know you have Needle Sealing, or purposely sit on fortress for 3 turns, not swap anything.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
You're like, God.
Well, that's it. When they get to that stage of the game too, they just like, well, yeah, they have Winda, but I also have like 5 boosts off my Dancer, so. So I got a 55 Sphinx, a 36 Dancer, a 48 Master. We're going to Pound Town. We don't care.
And you can't deck them out. Decking out is not an option.
Decking out Triumid is very hard.
You have to hit their pulse and their double Dancer and have no way for them to get it back.
Yeah, but that is a matchup where cards like Floodgate Trap Hole are really important. Also, always that's why I like ETH. And this is also very important when you are looking at Triumid. You gotta count their effects. Look at them, see how many effects they can activate. On top of look at their graveyard. Look at their graveyard. Pay attention to how many rocks and field spells they have in their graveyard, because that'll tell you if you can play around Pulse or not.
You have to know what's going on.
Yeah, and Pulse is one of those newer worded cards. So let's say I go Elder Hawk, right? My opponent goes flip up Pulse. Banish 2, target the Hawk. Yeah. If you chain Book of Moon to put your Hawk face down, the Hawk will still get destroyed because the wording on Pulse is target a face-up monster on the field, destroy it, not destroy that target. Yeah.
Destroy it.
Yeah, so if you try to save it with
meaning
Book of Moon, it will not work.
Because it says destroy it, it doesn't require a target. So it's kind of like once the target even leaves that area, books or whatever it does, he's still going to be able to resolve and destroy it.
Exactly.
So that's something you need to understand.
Yeah,
I see a lot of people trying to book their monsters on Pulse, and that doesn't work that way.
Yeah, another thing too, kind of mirrors a similar topic with Treacherous Trap Hole. If they Treacherous an Ulti-Petal Fin, and then they chain like Canadia to flip it face down, if you let the Canadia resolve, the Ulti-Petal Fin will be destroyed. Because for a couple of factors, it will no longer be face up on the field. So it will not have the protection that it has. And even though Treacherous says destroy those targets, there's no stipulation of what battle position it needs to be in.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah, face-up card, not monster. Yeah, that is what Pulse does. It can pop any face-up card.
Other thing, too, that I want to bring up in that matchup is that the best deck I like for the matchup is ETH, because in ETH, we're running Floodgate. And
Floodgate is phenomenal against Triumid. Yeah.
If you Floodgate their Hunter early, like you go turn 1.
Yeah.
You set back.
If you flip down a Hunter like as early as possible, they're almost brick wall for the turn. The best they can do is King Golem something else into play.
And they're a lot slow. They're slowed down a lot more to the opportunity where you can get offensive. Now, you can't sit on them and defensively deck them out that way. And I'm gonna explain why.
Yeah, the dancer can. Yeah. That's one of your like if you can floodgate 2 Triumid monsters and then leave like I would say Fiendish Chain, but Fiendish Chain can also get pulsed.
Another thing with Fiendish that you need to be careful of is if you Fiendish a master.
Yeah, they can send
stack the master. Yes. And then you're left on a dead Fiendish on the field, and they'll pop another back row.
Yeah, they can.
Be really careful. Yeah.
That matchup has a lot of like little tiny details that aren't exactly apparent at first. Because
another thing that they can do, the really experience of cogging and getting high score Triumids, you will summon master. Let's say that you floodgate their monster, right? Yep. You have floodgate and a summon master. They can send a field spell and pop their own monster.
Yeah, they can pop their own floodgate monster. Exactly.
So you have to be. There's a lot of little details in that matchup that.
Yeah,
I can tell you this.
A lot of playing that matchup.
Yourself, you have a lot of experience against it. You're not going to know those details just by playing against it. You have to understand how Triumid works.
Yeah, I know that. Also, another thing involving like the Triumid matchup too. Sphinx is any Triumid card too. It doesn't just have to be a monster to summon itself. If you pop a field spell, I'm pretty sure it summons itself.
Yes, it does. And another thing too is if you pop their back row, let's say you like bad aim a pulse.
Yeah.
They can summon Sphinx. Or they can even activate a second pulse, pop their pulse, and force the Sphinx on the field.
Yes.
So they have a lot of ways to do it. Mm-hmm. Now another thing they can even do, which is crazy enough, is let's say they have, and I think this works, they have a master, right?
Trickstar Fight is gifted another 2/1 sub to Winda Master.
Right, now see how Master says target one set card in the field and destroy it? Galaxy?
Yeah.
Cyclone, you know how you activate Galaxy and then they flip it up and it's destroyed? So they can activate Master, send a Triumid field spell, up their own pulse, flip it up, response, and because pulse will die while face up, at the Sphinx.
Yeah.
So, very high IQ plays, a way that they can potentially get a thing on the field that you need to be very careful about. Triumid has a lot of
Triumid
nuance.
is a very. It's not a super. It comes in droves. I find it gets popular sometimes, and sometimes it's just gone out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But it is
I think in
definitely
this meta,
the reason why
it's a
we're
very
talking. The reason why we're talking so much about Triumid is it's probably because
They're
it's our
very
most.
popular.
It's probably our most difficult relevant matchup in the game.
Yeah.
Triumid is a very
Yeah.
difficult matchup just because a lot of their a lot of what they just naturally do just counters our strategy.
They're a good deck. I will say this. They're not top tier by relevance, but they are. That's because
Yeah.
people will slide the hell out of them in tournaments. They'll go MST and Cosmic up to Yaya. But if they on KC Cup in a 1v1 meta, they are very dangerous. If you don't have the appropriate counters, deal with them in a 1v1 meta, and they can establish field presence, they are a deck that can climb very quickly.
Yeah.
And they can gain advantage and do a lot of different things. Even against a deck like Onomet, they have the ability to swarm the field. So that's
Indeed.
something that you want to keep in mind with Triumid.
Here's
Ritual
one.
Beast is the most relevant, toughest matchup.
Yeah, here's one benefit
That's why we're
though
talking about that.
about playing the ETH version too over Destiny Draw version against Triumid. If you open up triple floodgate trap hole, that FTK is Triumid.
Well, unless they're Omega Brain and one Trish, you gotta be careful.
Oh yeah, that is true. They do play Trish. That is
Yeah,
a thing they can do. Yeah.
So I would say this: if you want to go against Trish, and I'm gonna bring this up on my stream, if you want to counter Trishula, be careful of what monsters they summon. If they summon 2 hunters or 2 of the same monster, then they're out of Trish.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Trish has to send 3 different monsters with different names. So if they go like Hunter Dancer or Hunter Master, they can't do it. If they
Yeah.
go like Hunter Master Dancer, then you're
Yeah,
then
then
know
you
what's
might want to reevaluate some decisions.
or you FTK yourself because you probably
Now here's the plan though. You go floodgate, another trap, then you endless trap hell the floodgate. So that when they summon the Trish, you can floodgate that and then floodgate another one. I have floodgated 6 times in a match before.
Yeah. This is on my 4th duel to Cog. I went against
Tribute
Automat. I
summon
literally
Finks.
opened window triple floodgate. I
Yeah,
just
you can-
made him get rage.
Yeah, you can
Floodgate
say tribute summon Sphinx, except Sphinx I'm pretty sure says cannot be normal summoned or
tribute
set.
summon. Cannot be normal.
Yeah,
summon.
cannot be normal summoned or set. So
Yeah.
that's one thing to keep in mind too. If you you don't have to worry about them being able to unclog through tribute summoning because they don't play
Wrong
anything to cheat
Sphinx.
over. What's that?
Wrong Sphinx.
Wrong Sphinx? Wait, which
Yeah.
one? This guy?
Intro Sphinx.
Yo, this guy can unclog. What are you talking about? He's also a rock. We're there.
Yeah, the beast.
Yeah,
Yeah, how is this Sphinx a beast? I don't know.
All right, should we we should go over the tier list right now and kind of get our thoughts on the matchups for the current tier list because we talked about
Stall deck.
we
Stall
talked
deck,
about-
That's an install.
I mean, you can argue Endless Trap Hell as a stall deck. I find myself switching gears quite a lot and
I don't
sometimes
feel
fun.
that RB is a stall deck.
No, it's a control deck with a.
That's the control.
Right, here's the best way I like to see
not a
it.
hero
Ritual
flash
Beast is a
control.
combo control deck with an OTK potential. It kind of does. It kind of does everything.
We're not hero flash people, okay?
Yeah,
We're
no.
not trying this to-
I mean, I might be. It plays
Hero.
Winda. What can I say? I may have dabbled a bit in Hero Flash just because it plays Winda.
We actually trying to develop a one
Actually,
con.
before we go into the tier list, there is one thing I wanted to talk about, or a couple things regarding Destiny Draw, Ritual Beast. So, a couple questions. Why are we not playing Ambush, and why aren't we playing When?
Please. Don't. Ambush is
So
dookie.
the reason why we
Yeah,
don't
no.
play Ambush is it's very slow with what we're trying to do.
Exactly.
We would
if
rather
you
it,
open
and
it
the
up
thing
with
about
combo,
this
it's
version
bad.
is with the trap version you have ways to stall until you get to your second monster. If you open up Kanahawk and a bunch of other normal summons, Ambush isn't really helping you. Whereas if you open up if the Ambush is a second return, you actually have a fusion line. It's not a starter in a deck that
return
wants to
is-
try and get to a combo as fast as possible. That is the main reason why we don't play Ambush. It can be very good in some matchups, like Ambush is actually very good in the mirror match. It's great against Witchcrafter. It's great against, it was great against the old Invoke Neos when that was tier 1. It's probably, it actually is pretty solid against Gaia too. But unfortunately, it's not a starter, and it just contributes to the brick factor of the deck.
And there are going to be times where you open up combo and you're going to want a tech in your hand, like an MST, to deal with their back row, like a Tretch or a Cosmic, whatever.
Like if you open up... Well, here's the thing.
If you open up Ambush, it's not going to do anything.
Yeah, and here's the thing too. Let's say we're playing multiple Sphere Kuribohs, right? And we look at our opener and we see double Sphere Kuriboh, Ambush, Return. I mean, granted, the return, the Ambush being the second return there doesn't really do much either. But as like an example here, with a hand like that, not only is the Ambush a dead card, but we have no live Destiny draw targets because it's no longer a starter.
Yeah, it also sets you back a bit as well.
It can set you back. There are cool things you can do with it, but I'll talk about that in the Endless Trap Hell version. Just because I've done it, I did it a couple times during my climb, and it actually ended up winning me the game. But we'll talk about that when we talk about Endless Trap Hell.
Another thing too is in the combo variant, there are double return combos.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You really want a big setup. There are some situations. First of all, the second return is very important.
I actually... Yeah, you can keep talking. I'm going to go look for something real quick that was in your server, and I want to put it on my screen here.
Okay.
And I kind of want to...
I'll talk to you, both your viewers and my own right now.
Yeah.
So, the reason why we play second return too is there are two reasons. First of all, if you're playing combo, let's say we both open Kanahawk, return, Winda, need a second return to go for OTK later. Once you burn that, let's say we go one return, one ambush. Now we have no way to OTK line later on if we have to start off with like that. So what I like to do is, microwave mode, thank you.
Microwave mode.
We can go Kanahawk, banish, let's say we have Kanahawk Winda return. Kanahawk, banish the Elder, activate the return, banish the Winda, summon the Elder. Once ulti Hawk, tag out into both Kanahawk, Winda, and send Elder to the graveyard. At this point, you have the option to search Lara or Petalfin. Against Thunder Dragons, you're probably searching Petal. And then you have Kanahawk to banish the second Winda and sit on ulti Petalfin with a Petalfin follow-up. Double Winda tag out, which is really strong. And then you have the second return for OTK. But there is another line that does get you into a Paleo as well, which gives you an Paleo setup against some decks that you may want the extended board coverage or some way to follow up all of that. And if you're playing Ambush, you have none of those lines to be able to OTK later on. You have the standard line with one return, but you don't have the extended line to where if we open up Kanahawk Winda return, now we have the option to have a second return to OTK later on, which is very important if you're playing in the combo variant where you want to OTK as quick as possible. You don't really want to sit there. The combo variant is quick, knowledgeable, and OTK. Okay, you're up, Whirl.
Alright, Sean, I'm just gonna grab something here real quick. I'm gonna put it on my stream. Are you in my stream right now?
I am on my own, but I'm gonna blow up your stream right now.
Okay, so this picture, I'm gonna get it a little bit straightened out here, was sent into your Discord at one point, and I'm wondering if you can figure this out. I want you. Okay, so the assumption here is we're playing Bond, 2 returns, and a Sin in our deck, right? Do you see the hand here?
I do.
So the person asked me. They said, "Does Elder work here?" And I said, "Yeah, of course. Bouncer cannot negate Elder." And then I also said to him, "You have an OTK line here. I want you, Sean. Can you figure out the OTK line? Let's just assume that our Onomat player here is playing at their best, right? They're gonna make the right negate call. How would you go about trying to OTK with this hand?
You could go Elder and Takana and
Elder
then
Kanahawk.
negate.
Yeah, but here's the
It's a
thing:
negate.
they will not negate the Kanahawk banish. So what happens next?
Well, if they do not negate the Kanahawk banish, you could trying to think here.
Yeah.
They
Don't worry,
if
take
they
your time.
don't
This is kind of an interesting combo, so you can
But
take
they
the
do
time.
not negate it. Well, there's another way too.
Well,
If
yeah.
they
Here's the
negate
thing: if they
first
negate it, then you have an
Ulti
easy
effect,
line to OTK.
Yeah. They
So-
negate the if you go Elder Hawk and then they do not
Okay, yeah.
negate the Kanahawk banish.
Yeah. So let's say that, right? So we've already established.
Just
Okay, so
banish
that the hawk,
Petalfin.
yeah, right. So we go banish Petalfin. That's correct, right? That is the correct line. What happens next?
Then you go into Ulti Hawk and you
Yep.
proc the first effect.
Proc the first effect.
And-
They also do not negate.
Then you could search return.
Then you search return. Exactly. So yeah, you don't tag out
That's how you
here.
get
This is the main thing here. Is you do not tag out here, because if you tag out here, they negate. So what you do here,
you don't
we have
tag
the
out, they'll just
we have the
negate it.
Petalfin banished now, right? Because they let us with the hawk. We just do a raw search, sending the Petalfin and the I guess it doesn't really matter to the graveyard. You can
That's
leave the Elder
thing,
banished.
Guys, don't forget that you can raw search.
Yeah,
That's
you don't
that's
have
one
to.
thing.
You do not have to
Yeah.
tag out to search here,
Yeah.
right? So we raw search for the
Yeah.
return. We can now use the return to banish the Pangu, to summon the Petalfin, and now we can use the Petalfin to banish one of the Lauras in hand to bounce the
Lauras,
bouncer.
and
Now
then
they're forced to
bounce the
negate the bouncer. So that bouncer gets negated.
that's a-
We're left with Ulti Kanahawk in play, and then we have Elder Laura Pangu banished. We can now tag out of the Ulti Kanahawk into the Laura and the Pangu. Use Pangu to send the Apelio to the graveyard. You send the Apelio to the graveyard now. You have Elder banished now, by the way, and a fusion. Go back into a fusion play. You can
Yeah.
still leave. It doesn't matter which of the beasts you leave in play here. You go back into a fusion play, into Ulti Kanahawk in attack mode. You use Ulti Kanahawk's search again. You don't have a tag out here, but you want to leave the Elder banished. And you're gonna do another search to search the second return that's in your deck. You're gonna use the return now to banish the I guess the second Laura in your hand to bring back
and then
the
go
Apelio.
and just
The
spin,
Apelio is
and
going to
leave it.
banish whatever in the graveyard. You can now use the Apelio here to go into Malevolent Sin. Malevolent Sin will
Then
banish
banish
the
and then
bouncer,
get-
and you have a lethal swing.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yep. Perfect.
And the best part about this hand here too, with those cards in our deck, is if they have if they negate the Hawk Search, you have an easier line of OTKing.
Oh yeah, then that's just an
It's just
one at
easier.
that
And then
point.
if they negate the search, you just tag out and you just bounce them and OTK them even easier.
Yeah, exactly. If they negate the Hawk search, then
I forget if they negate Ulti. Wait, someone's asking if they negate Ulti Kanahawk search and then I tag out. Is it still the search is still negated, but you still get to tag out into the bodies? Which at this point you
Yeah,
have the
if-
Elder
if
and
you-
Petalfin anyway. Plus you have the Laura, so you can banish and do an extra search after that. And then the
They
Penguin
negate-
hand also allows you for a live return play later on.
If they negate the Ulti Kanahawk, then what you do, like the initial search, then you could just tag out afterwards, and then you'll get both the search and the Ulti Kanahawk summon. Oh, that's a good way. So if they are playing correctly, let's say you summon
Yeah,
the
I
Elder
would.
and
So
Kanahawk
the
again.
assumption here is that the best line of play for them is to wait for the tag out to try and negate.
Exactly. So the thing is, you want to activate. Let me explain. So you summon Elder Kana. You're gonna banish the Petalfin in a case like this. You're gonna go into the Ulti Kanahawk. Right when you summon the Ulti Kanahawk, they activate Ulti Kanahawk effect. Right? Now, if they negate, then you can tag out. If they don't negate, you're gonna raw search return, activate return, banish the Pengu, summon back the Petal. Now they have to negate the Petalfin.
Exactly.
They have no choice. You can Petalfin, banish Laura, then you have Pengu Laura as a tag out to send a Paleo, set up a Malevolent Sin with the second return, and then go for lethal.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a lethal option no matter what they do there.
Exactly.
So even if they have
That's why that hand is so good. When you look at a hand and you don't have an immediate answer for bouncer, if you take time, like obviously when you're in game, you're not going to have that much time to think because the timer is not very generous with the deck.
unless
But
you're like
if you played if you
have-
played enough games like Sean and I have, some of these lines will
Yeah.
come kind of natural. But
It's
let's just say
like,
that you might have to do a little bit of creativity to get some pass. I'm actually going to show a replay of mine right now.
sounds good.
If I still have it here, but it was a very interesting turn 1 to deal with Fortune Lady Every.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's check out that replay.
I think it was either this was my Gaia rank up. It might be this one. Just like, because there's a lot of like, obviously we're gonna teach you about the basic combos once we get to like that section. But I'm going to show you. I'm just going to show you something interesting that you can do to play around, or some interesting lines.
Some gameplay on my stream. I'm going to do some gameplay with Ritual Beast and kind of explore it to you as we play.
Yeah.
along.
So this is. I don't think this is. Is this a replay? I don't know if it is. Let me go quickly see. I don't think this is it because this is a
tutorial because this gives a good combo. What to do
Yeah.
on the
Actually,
basic,
I mean, I want to do all the combos all in one go.
Okay. Yeah.
So we'll figure that out once we get to that. I don't want to branch off too much away, but we'll definitely discuss combos. I'll open up Edo Pro when we get to that section. Right now, we're just kind of talking about the deck and the matchups and whatnot. This might be the game here. I see 30 cards, or pretty close to. Yeah, so this is my opener hand, and we'll skip a little bit ahead here because they're just.
This guy playing Blue Eyes Lights one, I faced a good one on the ladder. Yeah, I faced the same guy. God.
Oh really? Same guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so he ends up. So he ended up using a lot of resources to make this place, which is why I was super okay with doing this turn 1. So this is our hand we opened up with. So we have the Elder Hawk return combo.
Okay, so you have a.
So we're gonna do a variation of that combo. Excuse me, I didn't mean.
So you
I
can
didn't
just spend a lot of resources here. That's fine. He spent a ton of resources, so this is perfectly fine that you set it up.
Yeah, so we're gonna on the first turn here, mind you, the way we're setting this up. So we searched our second return. We're gonna use we're gonna banish the Petalfin here. Yep. We're going to use the return now to get the Petalfin, and then we're gonna do a raw search here, so we can get ourselves double Winda banished.
Yeah. And then
this is going to deal with the Every, and then we have Bond for when he tries to alternative pop. Which in this case, because we knew he searched Levi as well, we can do this as well. So we can bond away the Petalfin now into our ulti Petalfin, and then we still take out into double Winda, and then he does the foolish decision of continuing to attack, which really allows us to go into Petal, and then we just kill him from here. But that was
They're always gonna double it. They're always gonna
yeah, I don't know why they do it, but they do.
They probably don't know Ritual Beast at all,
right.
so they're like, yeah, we're gonna attack this.
So yeah, that's a big bonus about playing Ritual Beast too, is a lot of the players do not know how to play.
Again, another thing, going back to that, you can't do that combo without double return.
Exactly.
You need to double return and then have that raw
that turn 1 play exhausted every single one of our Ritual Beast spells in our deck.
Yeah, but he committed his whole hand to an Every. And
exactly.
Yeah,
and we had a defensive line afterwards for the Levi coming down the turn after.
Around Levy, you knew he searched the blue eyes to the Levi, so you had a defensive turnaround with Bond, so you were fine there.
Exactly. So before we go on to
unless he went Tuner Summon into Spirit Dragon, and then you're like, well, this is a little bit sussy now.
You need a blue eyes though, right, to make Spirit Dragon?
Yeah.
So yeah, you can't do it with the Levi.
Yeah, okay. So he had he had an alternative.
Yeah, he did have the alternative, yes.
Yeah, so he could have went in there with a little bit.
But I mean, if he goes into.
I think you had no choice at that point. You had to do that play.
Oh yeah, for sure. We needed an answer to every, otherwise, because like if we don't do that play, our best line is to take out into a Winda, and one of the Windas gets banished, and then if he summons another Spirit Dragon, then that play is ruined anyway. That's another one of those. Take a small bit of time to think to figure out what your best line might be, and sometimes a little bit of improv will go a long way.
Yeah,
You can be creative with your combos, and if your combo path doesn't work, then you shrug it off and you move on.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Simple as that. Yeah.
Right.
So so now the other thing that I wanted to talk about is why are we not playing Wen in any of our builds?
Oh my gosh, because Wen
she is a different named tamer, which can be relevant. The only issue is most of the time, if you have Ritual Beast banished, you don't need Wen to combo off, because when you have Ritual Beast banished, Winda effectively will do the same thing even just by crashing. And if you have Beast banished, it means that you've already set up a combo. Like, you've already set up a board, you've already set up your game plan. You'll have your Windas to take out into. Wen doesn't contribute to that. She's more of a brick in that sense. And when your Ritual Beasts get destroyed, they're going to go to the graveyard, right? So why play Wen when we can play Laura?
Exactly.
Yeah, and we don't need to play both because, again, like, deck space is kind of tight with brickiness as is. Like, we're not going to play Wen in ETH just because there's never going to be an opportunity where her effect's really going to be relevant.
Yeah.
And in Destiny Draw, like, there are very small times where she could be like a good top deck, but most of the time you're gonna set yourself up in a scenario like.
I feel like unless they're negating a tag at her or something.
So yeah, let's look at it this way too. If you open up Hawk Wen, what do you do there, right? You go Hawk banish a Paleo maybe, probably, right? Hawk banish a Paleo is probably your best line there, and then next turn you go Wen, bring back a Paleo, banish, and then you can do like a pseudo combo, or you can just go Hawk banish Winda, and then use Laura to bring back the Canna Hawk, and then you don't have to worry about a Paleo banishing. You can set up a more defensive board or a more offensive board with Laura Canna Hawk than you can with a Paleo Wen with Paleo in the banish pile.
You have choices there. You have options.
Someone just created a poll right now in my stream. It's a long one. It said best Arbor Girl, wrong answers only, and there's 6 votes currently in the lead for Elder. 10 votes for Elder.
I think you're gonna fry the people.
Someone voted Winda. I'm pretty sure that was Tam, so I'm coming after you.
I think you're gonna go at the Tam for voting Winda here.
Probably.
Keep one eye open tonight, Tam. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm watching you, Tamsis. He just said he didn't even vote yet. All right.
Alright, whoever your names are, show yourselves.
Okay, so going back to the whole Wen topic, there was one situation one format where I had considered playing Wen, and that was in Dark Magician format. Just because banishing, getting your like Hawks and your whatever your Windas banished was very common. So having Wen as a way to get them back was actually like kind of an okay line of play. The reason why I didn't commit to it though is because if your turn 1 play is set Winda pass and they go navigation banish, you're not realistically winning that game most of the time anyway. And
exactly.
And if you do have like a Seer Karibo and you get Destiny Draw, then if all you're doing is set Winda pass, I assume your other cards in your hand are probably another Spiritual Beast, which in that case a Destiny Draw for Elder is just as good. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
In that matter, I was just running Triple Sphere, because once you survive the combo, you just dedraw on the Elder, and you pretty much go
I generally only play 2 spheres, but I had thought about Triple Sphere. Last format, though, before pre-Gaia, Triple Sphere or like Triple Hand Trap was very, very good, especially against Blue Eyes. That was another thing too.
I was the first one to come out with the Veil Tech, and
I've seen it before actually, and I didn't really think much of it. I was like, whatever, it's probably not that great. And then I saw you ended up playing it, and then I kind of gave it a shot myself, and I went on a 10-game win streak with it. I was like, you know what, this is actually a lot better than it looks. So the Veil Tech ended up being very, very good as a Sphere Karibo pseudo replacement. I do like having a mixture between both of them, Like, I don't mind having like one Veil double sphere or like one sphere double Veil. It's just that there are metas in where one is better than the other.
Good, and there's exactly.
Like, I guess like
last meta when Thunder Dragons and Blue Eyes were
yeah,
everywhere.
I liked Veil for 100%. For metas where like Cyber Dragon was really prominent, I like Sphere more.
When Thunder Dragon and Blue Eyes are everywhere, Veil is good because you can hard draw into Lightning Vortex.
Yeah, the Destiny draw into Lightning Vortex.
The field. Another thing that I like with Veil against Thunder Dragons is, and especially the level dupe builds. And the level dupe builds, they don't leave loot behind on the field. So a lot of the times they're gonna go out there and swing with 3K beaters, which in that case they cannot OTK through a Veil. They're most of the time gonna be forced to give you D-draw, and you would D-draw into whatever you needed, either the Vortex to clear a bouncer, an OTK, or into maybe an Elder. If they didn't have a bouncer on the field, you can go in the Elder, and they just go ham. So D-draw build at that point with Veil was very good. Right now it's not. There is not really use for Veil.
Yeah, it's the same reason for it's the same reason for Lightning Vortex too. Like, you want Vortex when like decks like Blue Eyes and like Blue in the Lights are all over the ladder.
And when you can OTK or get a very powerful setup.
Yeah. Which is why we both of us came to a conclusion. I introduced you to this option, or this this build was the version that was playing cut the pango here. We were playing double copy Vortex and Laura.
Yeah.
This is how the whole second Laura in these builds came up to build, because it ended up working as a combo starter while going second. Because if you opened up Hawk, Laura, Lightning Vortex, you clear the whole field, which allows you to. You don't have to worry about doing Petalfin banishes. You can do setups that allow you to either end on Winda, like multiple windows, or just a straight up OTK into like a Paleo Bond
Now
style.
there is a tech that I do not want people playing. Please, for the love of goodness, do not play Dark Ruler no more in your Ritual Beast deck.
There's a lot of techs we can still discuss over. We haven't really talked much about the techs really. We talked about Book of Moon. We talked about Vortex. There's a lot of other spell techs. We just talked about Veil now and why Veil is good and bad in depending thing. We talked about Cosmic. We talked about Mystical Space Typhoon. Yeah. Forbidden Lance is also a decent option, and I like Chalice right now as an option as well. Because what Chalice is basically a budget Book of Moon, or more copies of Book of Moon, in a sense of a better term. Is because it does what you want it to do, which is like negate problematic things on your turn, like Gaia and Bouncer and the likes of that. Well, also what you can do with Forbidden Chalice is you can negate your own Altia Paleo, and it is now going to be affected by the boosts of Little Paleo when it attacks. The only issue is if you do that, you only want to do this when you have, when you know you're not going to be threatened by back row.
Exactly. Exactly right.
If you negate the Altia Paleo when she swings, they can hit it with whatever. They can hit it with a Drowning, they can hit it with a Wall of D, whatever. And you can't take out because you will be negated.
Yep, you will. 100% be negated. Yep.
But you can make some... The good thing, though, is double a Paleo boost, which is very easy to achieve, plus Chalice is 4k damage exactly with Altia Paleo.
Yes, it is.
So on an open board against like Veil, you can use that. Like if you suspect Veil, you can do this kind of line of play and get a lethal where you might not have had it before.
Double Paleo with the double Chalice.
Someone says check the poll again. There are 550 votes for Elder and 475 votes for Wen as the best girl on masses only.
You go like double Chalice with a Paleo, then you have an easy OTK.
Can you negate the damage step and get boosted? You cannot, because she is already attacking and she's unaffected.
Back declaration, you have to negate before the declaration.
Yeah. It's the same thing with not that I want to talk about this deck at all or ever want to hear about it ever again. If you want to Alistair boost Altia Paleo, you have to do it before it attacks. Yeah, anyway, getting rid of that card forever now. Remove that from my memory.
Well, disruption meta, am I right?
The Wallaby meta. That was a good meta. Shadow Game? Do you remember Shadow Game?
Oh my god. Shadow Game, the hell out of full power
ETHRB is
Witchcraft.
effectively just Shadow Game RB.
Yeah. Except that it was so much fun to Shadow Game the hell out of Witchcrafter.
It was. I mean, that's why we played it, was so we could beat
Yeah.
Witchcrafter. And we had Lava Golem pre-nerf burn damage, and that was our easiest way to beat the Kiwi Bear setup, was just drop a Golem on their face and then watch them struggle. This was also pre-XYZ time, wasn't it? So they couldn't just be like, herp or derp, use my Bear and my Lava Golem, make a Helio, blah blah blah.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, so other techs to consider. Herald of the Abyss used to be a huge playmaker in Ritual Beast back when Cocytus was around. I actually really liked this in Noble Knight meta too. This was actually a very solid card in Noble Knight meta because it forced out Trap early and also gave you Sealed Tombs.
It did.
Yeah. Necro Valley is an interesting tech choice as well for Ritual Beast. Not one that I'm very happy... Necro Valley. Not one that I'm very happy like maining right now. Because the thing about Necro Valley is it's very powerful in specific matchups, but it also does hurt you.
Yes,
Necro Valley is not a free roll in this deck whatsoever. If you lose your Petal Fin, it's gone. So if I'm playing Necro Valley as a one-of, I'm playing it with like Cosmic Cyclones and or MSTs. So if we need to, we can get rid of it. If you can play multiple Necro Valleys, and then you can re-enable your graveyard by setting the Necro Valley and then re-banishing and set yourself up there. But Necro Valley in itself is a very risky card to play because you shut off your ability to banish with with a Paleo. You make it a lot harder to set up safe floats. Because if you lose your windows, the windows are effectively gone, which is why the Goki matchup was actually kind of annoying at some times.
Oh yeah, because Necro Valley, you couldn't get back your crap.
You couldn't, you couldn't get back. But we also played like a bunch of back row removal in those formats too, because that was one of those matchups where you wanted the back row was for a matchup like Goki, even though it was like super rogue.
Yep, exactly.
Do we have any other spell text that we want to talk about? I don't really think there's really anything else that stands out.
I think we talked about most of them.
For the spells, trap cards though. I think now is a good time to move over to the Endless Trap Hell version.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm gonna swap over to my list here. Our lists are very, very similar, by the way.
Yep, both have very similar lists. Yeah.
Is this Gusto or it's Gusto?
Very list. Why can't I find Odeon?
There's my Odeon. Endless Window Heaven. Let's go.
Endless Window Heaven.
That's the name of my deck.
It's a fun game.
I like that we both came to the same conclusion that 21 cards was the best ratio. I like 22 cards at first, but there was a lot of like opening like Laura triple trap or quad trap and top decking in Elder Hands that just I did not like. So I wanted to trim down to 21 cards so we just had a better chance of opening like a window.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
And
so there are a lot of very good tech choices. The only difference between our main deck is I think you were playing 3 Bad Aim, and I think you were playing 3 Canadia, right?
Yeah, that was my.
Or 3 Floods. You were no, that's it. You were playing 1 Canadia, triple Floodgate, triple Bad Aim, double chain. Where I was playing, I cut a Bad Aim for the second Canadia, and then I cut the 3rd Floodgate for a Needle Sealing. And normally like the battle phase or the damage step that I got top 4 in that I lost due to connection issues. I played a couple copies of Needle Sealing because I felt like that was a good meta to play it in. This meta, it's a little bit weaker, and in Destiny Draw, it's a good Destiny Draw target sometimes. I don't generally like playing Needle Sealing in the Destiny Draw build just because
drawing it becomes too obvious.
Well,
Once
not
you
not so much
de-draw it-
not so much that it's obvious. It's just that we don't set a lot of back row in Destiny Draw, especially with all of our hand traps. So it's generally easier to play around, even if we do have like fusion delays, like Petalfin takeout delays. It's still pretty easy to like
we're gonna
play
talk
around,
about that, Lord Opium.
and because there's so many MSTs and like back row popping in the format. The needle sealing just in Destiny Draw itself usually just doesn't end up working out.
Shadow imprisoning, I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, I like the needle sealing here in the endless trap
yeah.
just as a
Anyone,
one
really
of.
good.
I like it just as a one of because multiples can be kind of dead. But having one with the mixture of all the other back row, it's my same thought process with the Gusto deck I have, is that I wouldn't normally play Wall Disruption in a deck like this, but because there's like 10 other threatening back row effects that they have to play around, it's hard to play around all of them. So having what like random silver bullets like needle sealing can actually come in clutch.
So yeah, you did like needle sealing.
I thought it was okay. I like it for like specific things like for like the Luna Light matchup, the Blue Eyes matchup. It's a good one of to like have in the deck because it's like if it gets like MST'd, then so be it. It gets MST'd. It's just like any other trap if it got MST'd.
Yeah.
And the thing is, at its worst, it's like yeah, it might brick you. You might never actually ever be able to enable it, and it might.
I definitely see why you're playing the needle.
Yeah, it might like be kind of a problem. At its best, though, it just straight up wins the game.
For me, yeah, exactly.
Also,
for me,
I love the things you can do with needle sealing and Ritual Beast. Some of my favorite things to do is if there's 5 monsters in play, like let's say we have like a set Winda, an Altia Paleo, and then they have 3 monsters in play. You can tag out of Altia Paleo, then chain the needle sealing, wipe their board, and then your takeout targets will get summoned afterwards.
Yep.
Another thing you can do with needle sealing and Altia Paleo is if there's 4 monsters in play, you can go to battle phase, you can attack with the Altia Paleo, then activate needle sealing, and since we're attacking, we're unaffected by the needle sealing. It'll wipe the board, and we can get a direct attack in with Altia Paleo, which sometimes might just be lethal.
Exactly.
Anyway, you were gonna say about something.
The reason why I like 3 Floodgate is because Floodgate is literally a win con.
Yes, I agree as well. I wanted to space out my my chainable traps as much as possible, which is why I wanted to have more Canadias in here, because I wanted to have like I guess better top decks and more, because like we can use Floodgate as a win condition. Like we can just sit on the Floodgate trap hole and just go out for the deco plan.
Generic trap hole is very bad. Do not play.
Yeah, don't play generic trap hole. Floodgate trap hole clogs the board, especially in an XYZ synchro meta. This card is phenomenal. I wanted more things I could have going second as well, because like if you draw like double Floodgate, Winda, and I don't know, maybe ambush.
I feel like the thing is, like the main thing I was considering when I made this deck was Onomat.
Yes.
And I was thinking that.
Well, and yeah, I totally get where you're coming from, because like floodgating their play is huge, and like the main issue with the Onomat matchup I find is Onomat play into Gaga head.
Yeah.
But I guess that would make the multiple floodgates better, and usually the Onomat matchup we can go the deco strategy. If they force out early bouncers, sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do. Or it might be something you want to do. I want to have like more answers to like turn 1 like bouncer as well. Yeah. But like I definitely my original list, if I wasn't playing.
We'll talk about that in a second, Logobia.
Yeah. When I was my list before this, by the way, before I added the needle sealing, it was a 3rd Floodgate trap hole. So, well, we would be on the same page if I wasn't playing the needle sealing. I would also play a triple Floodgate trap hole, but I also wouldn't play any less than 2 Canadias.
Okay. Yep. That's a really fair point. So I'm gonna explain my list a little bit. The reason why I ran 3 Floodgates is I took Onomat into consideration, right? So I'm thinking, what are they gonna do if they go first and I go second with this card? So generally, your standard Onomat play, they go turn 1 bouncer. Or if they're smart, they want to play around you being an endless hell deck, they might go turn 1 M7. And in a case like that, they might go M7, add back Sister or Coat. Or they go sister, set a bunch of macro and pass. So with 3 Floodgate, if we go second, we have a few options. Floodgate is really good if they sit on a bouncer and then they go into a head play, because then you can flip down both their monsters, they summon off head, and they are literally screwed.
Yeah, if
because
you
they have no way to clear them.
yeah, if you floodgate the head summoned monsters, they just don't have a play because their
They
head is their
literally don't
only
have a
tribute
play.
summon. Well, other than
Um,
some of them are playing the other 6, the Buster. I think that's another tribute summon, I guess.
Yeah.
But most of the time,
but
yeah,
that's
it's
really bad.
yeah. Most of the time, if you floodgate the floodgated monsters, even if they have lance, they can only protect one of them.
Exactly. They'll only be able to flip down one, and clearing up a board space against Automat, you may think, oh, they can get 2 monsters on the field anyway. It's huge, because that demonstrates the willingness to be able to extend.
Yeah.
So they may not be able to extend as much on you.
Yeah.
And then at that point, you're going to have control of the board, which is really important. Another thing with Floodgate is it's absolutely amazing going first in the Automat matchup.
Yes.
Flipping down his sister is huge. It's
Yeah,
also
there's-
amazing against Gaia, flipping down the Curse of Dragon.
Yeah. Flipping down Curse of
So-
Dragon is important for sure.
Yeah, so this is a really strong card, so that's why I opted to go 3 of it.
Yeah.
I didn't mind as much seeing it go second. as much
Honestly,
against
I
Automat.
could have cut the needle ceiling for the 3rd floodgate and still would have been just as happy, to be honest. Because like I'd rather have
so-
floodgate than needle ceiling against a deck like Gaia, right?
It's also
Also-
decent against the Dragons as well to flop down a duo if you time it.
Yeah, needle ceiling
Then
too
they have
also
to go
very
out
good in
their
that
way to
matchup
clear
as
it.
well.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome.
For
in that matchup.
lupine plays, needle ceiling is phenomenal.
Oh,
They go
just
lupine.
wreck them.
Oh yeah, 100%. They just have they have to have a Levi or duo in hand, otherwise they're just passing the turn and that's it.
Open up Lupine, Levineer, and
Hey,
Roy,
thank you
they're
for the 300
okay, dude,
biddies.
I'm ready to game. Like, dude, I'm ready to go game. And then you needle them, and they're just sad.
But yeah, another thing I really like about Floodgate is it gives you a clear answer on how you should be approaching the matchup.
Right,
When you
exactly.
have
And once
multiple
you-
floodgates or even just a floodgate, and you get a successful floodgate off against certain matchups, you can kind of dictate how you should play this game. This will let you decide, well, do I want to tag out the Petalfin and start bouncing and putting aggression, or can I just lame up and just wall behind ulti Petalfin all game and let them duck out?
And another thing too that I want to bring up about Floodgate necessarily is the reason I love it is once you activate this game 1 or turn one, whatever
yeah.
you're gonna do it dictates what you're gonna do for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
An easy approach of what lines you need
Even
to make.
looking at your hand too, if you open up multiple floodgate trap holes, you can even decide right away, like, all right, I'm going to floodgate 2 of their monsters, and then I'm just going to sit behind a wall here and just not do anything
And
for this.
against one of our toughest matchups, Triumid, it is a house.
Oh yeah,
Give it a
floodgate
floodgate
trap
hunter.
hole is the best
You
card
can
against
beat
Triumid, hands down.
You-
If you can flip down a Sphinx, sometimes that's good enough.
Yeah, and if you can flip down, like they go
If you
Hunter
can-
into Hunter, and you floodgate both of them, they won't go. They'll go Hunter, and then they normal summon another Hunter on the following turn. Then you just win.
Yeah.
Boss monster.
So, what is your opinion on the new? I would say this is fairly new of a tech addition to Endless Trap Hell Ritual Beast, and has become quite a mainstay staple for this deck. What do you think about Bad Aim?
At aim, I was playing 3 of.
I think
in
this card is
Battlefield.
phenomenal in this deck.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah,
I think that Bad Aim is one of the best traps in the
Yeah,
game.
Bad Aim
Reason-
is a very unassuming card. It is currently our only way to permanently deal with
reason-
back row.
Oh,
And
I
it
do
is-
want to bring up.
A big thing about Bad Aim is there's a lot of combo decks in the format, and Bad Aim allows you to break
Talk
up
about
combos
Warlock
easy.
in a second. The thing with Bad Aim and Needle Ceiling. Let's talk about these 2 cards in conjunction. If you have a bad aim, first of all, if you have a bad aim, it's very hard for your opponent to read.
Yeah,
It's probably the strangest background for them to read because they essentially, in most combo decks,
by the
they're
time they
thinking
figure,
something right
yeah,
off
well,
the
by
bat,
the
and
time they
that's
figure out when it's Bad Aim, it's too late,
it's too late.
right? Let's say we
Exactly.
go against the mirror, right? We go Elder, Weird. There's no delay. Hawk.
Okay.
Weird. No delay. So that takes out. That's not Canadia. That's not Fiendish. That's not Floodgate Trap Hole. That's not Treacherous Trap Hole. What could that back row be? Is it an MST? Is it a Cyclone? I'm not too sure. Activate Hawk effect. Whoops! Bad aim Elder. Too late. There goes your combo.
Another thing with the combo build that's very important. If you're playing combo and you have return in that state,
yeah,
then you keep
you're absolutely fine. That's why I like combo, like Destiny, like draw combo versions, was when the traps that you had to go up against were basically what we're running here.
Not joining, you actually play
the 1-for-1, like the karma cuts and whatnot, the karma cuts, the floodgates, the Canadias, the fiendishes. That's why I like the Destiny draw version, is because Ritual Beast Return can actively get you out of those very, like, hands down and just win the game. However, with Treacherous Trap Hole being so popular, Return loses a lot of its value because you don't get to actually get the second body in play to make a fusion line. Whereas with 1-for-1 removal, like Karma Cut and like Bad Aim, you can continue to play with 1 return if you have it.
And with the meta being so heavily grindy, I want to say, because the thing is, it's not a sack meta.
The meta is very like build my board, break my board, reassemble my board, build my board, break my board again.
Right. It's also grindy because the thing is, Automat used to play Lance. When the deck was originally popular, it used to run a lot of Lance, a lot of Tex, just to play through back row and whatnot, no TK. Back when they had Triumid. Now they're in a state without Triumid where they've actually taken out a lot of their Tex, like Bolt and Wind, or subsided some of them to play back row. And in a situation like this, the best way I feel to counter Automat and decks in the meta right now is back row. Because especially card like Floodgate, because we're in Exceed Synchro meta where so many decks, by locking them down and establishing a control style of Ritual Beast, just fold. Because by the time they're done dealing with your back row, they are not set up to deal with the grind game that Ritual Beast can put into double window, and then the ETH as well. The endless, being able to endless at the end and getting all those traps back, find them out, it's very tough for your opponent to win. That's why I think this is a very good deck for this KC Cup. We're not dealing with Grenade.
Also, Canahawk Pass is a lot stronger of a play when you can set triple back row.
And plus Winda Pass is very strong.
Well, here's one of my favorite things about what I like Endless Trap Hell more than I like Destiny Draw version, is that Elder Winda play is way better in ETH than in Destiny Draw. Because your opponent, it's a lot harder to play around.
Even Elder or Paleo is a decent play with back row because you're getting a body on the field with 2 potential back rows.
Yes and no. It still makes the defensive line because you get a fusion out of it and you can still back row. With the combo version though, Elder or Paleo at least lets you end on Winda.
Yeah, it does let you end on Winda, but the one thing I do like is that gives you a body with potential back row and a setup for the following turn.
Yeah, this is a thing. Trickstar5 just pointed out in my chat here. He says, we haven't mentioned that every turn Ritual Beast gets, the harder it is to win the game for the opponent because of the consistent resource gain.
The one thing, like I said, if we open up like Elder or Paleo, I could like set 2 back row, go ulti Pedalfin, and the next turn if I top Conahawk, then we're in there.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like at that point, at least I'm able to fuse and I'm able to make things happen.
Yeah, a lot of players don't know how to play against Ritual Beast, which is very good for us, but so like there are several scenarios where like we can tag out the double Winda, and then the correct line is to just not attacking the Winda. But that's where the spiraling out of control happens, right? Because let's say we end on double Winda. Now, pretty much no matter what we do, if we top deck a Canahawk, it's a free normal summon with 0 consequences. Because what do? They treacherous a Winda and a Canahawk? No.
Play traps? Yeah, we'll talk about free to play.
Oh yeah, for sure.
One thing I want to bring up about ETH, which makes this build so good, is that when you're playing this particular build, the grind is really strong, and people may know how to play against Ritual Beast. Like, people, oh, okay, I have generic knowledge of the deck. I know what the deck does. There are so many, me and War will tell you the same thing, minor things with Ritual Beast.
Yeah, there are very minor
things
edges. There's also a little bit of
people
forgiveness
will
too.
not know.
There are some lines and combos that if you like just aren't paying attention, you mess up, it's still okay.
Yeah.
There are some that are a lot more severe than others though. Like if you accidentally aren't paying attention to your banishes and you do a raw send with Ulti-Kanahawk thinking you can tag out, that can be game ending. So you want to be careful. Like you need to plan ahead, like maybe a turn or two in advance. You need to plan your turn, what you want to do with your turn, and thankfully in game it tells you what you have summoned already, what can be special summoned. So you always want to make sure.
About bad aim, and then why this card is so good. One matchup that gets a little bit suspect, and this is why another reason why I ran triple floodgate, because I was thinking that this matchup inherently is Harpy.
Harpy Lady, yes.
Harpy is bad aim is fantastic.
Yes, 100%. Every single decent Harpy Lady has swapped over to Hunting Ground. And anything.
I want to talk about chain links for a second.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about chain links here. Let's say they have Hunting Ground in play, right? Your opponent has Hunting Ground in play, and they go and summon a channel, right? Very common play. Turn 2, you set a bunch of back row. They go Channeler. You can rewatch my first match, and you'll see what I was doing. They summon Channeler. Okay, they activate Hunting Ground. Hunting Ground goes as a mandatory chain link 1. It's mandatory. It says when any Harpy Lady are normal summoned, the player who conducted target spell and trap on the field destroy it. It's a mandatory effect.
Yeah.
So this has to go as the first chain link. So when you chain aim,
it'll pop the Channeler. If you do it with Perfumer's effect on summon is optional. So what's going to happen is Hunting Ground's going to be chain link 1 automatically, and then Perfumer's going to be chain link 2, which then at that point you can pop the Hunting Ground.
Ground, which is very strong.
So the way how this
floodgate, you can get the Cyber Slash, and they can't chain Swallowsness in the Cyber Slash.
Hey, before Dawn, how's it going? Dawn is on.
If they bounce, they'll have to bounce either their Cyber Slash or whatever monster you set, because they can't set Swallowsness on a Cyber Slash. Can't do that.
So how it works with how the chain link goes with simultaneous effects go on the chain, it's called Sagak. It mandatory non-optional effects will be the first thing that go on the chain for active player, and then it'll pass over to the same thing for the non-active player, and then it'll go to optional effects for you, and then optional effects for your opponent.
Right, exactly. So another good thing to do with bad aim is even if they brick and they summon a normal Harpy Lady, and you just pop the Harpy Lady, because Hunting Ground goes as chain link 1. So you get a
that's a huge thing.
Get a free pop on the field.
That's a huge thing for the matchup, is just denying them of a face-up Harpy Lady.
Also, Floodgate is also huge in the matchup as well, because just being able to flip down any monster that they summon is huge. And floodgating Harpies is very strong, because that's board space that they need.
If and when in Sagak, yes.
And here's the thing. If you deny them their play and you get fusion setup, so let's say I open up window, double back row, and then I top deck a Kanahawk, we pretty much win the game.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to be able to deal with the constant tanking out.
All right, and that just reminded me of the thing I wanted to talk about earlier, revolving around Ritual Beast Ambush in this build. So obviously having multiple traps is good, and being able to use, because we can do a lot of things with Ambush in this build, such as we can banish it with a Paleo to get extra searches, and then we can also like use the search from Ulti-Kanahawk to put it back into the graveyard, and that might help enable Endless Trap Hell.
Yes.
Another thing about it, and what I ended up doing often with Ambush, with a lot of my openers, is I'd open up like Ambush, 2 more traps in Kanahawk, going second, and my opponent would summon a monster, like, I don't know, like they'd end on like maybe like a Cyber Slash or something. I would go Kanahawk, banish Winda, set my 3 traps, including ambush, and then crash my Cannon Hawk into the Cyber Slash Harpy Lady.
Yes, exactly.
The reason for doing this is because it allows you, it turns on the ambush, because if you just summon the Hawk and you banish the window here, right?
Yep.
They play a spell, they activate Slash, they bounce your Cannon Hawk, your ambush is no longer online, and you're down a monster on board. Whereas if we crash it into the Cyber Slash here, we can ambush back the Hawk and Grave in the window that's banished and potentially stay in the game.
Bro, I wanted to tell you something.
What's
up?
up?
It would be an honor if you could at any point on my KC Cup Stage 2 join me in voice chat as I'm climbing.
I will absolutely join you. I would love to.
I would honor
do a
playing
duo.
Virtual Beast by your side.
I would love to do a duo climb, assuming we're streaming at the same time.
So,
when effects are always higher on chain link than if effects in the same timing. Yes.
So another thing that you need to point out is with timing of Floodgate. So let's say you ban right? And they go
Swallow's Nest.
Okay? Now,
Mass Change, Swallow's Nest, whatever.
When they go into Swallow's Nest, unfortunately you can't flood afterwards because what's gonna happen is you're gonna miss the timing.
Yeah, so if you have, so if you're in a scenario where you have to set Floodgate and Canadia,
Canadia is better. In that case.
you wanna Floodgate the first summon because if they Swallow's Nest, you want to be able to Canad the second one.
So, what I did, right? And I'm gonna explain. Yeah,
obviously if they hunting ground, right, and they end up targeting the Canadia, there's obviously nothing you can do. You just have to chain the Canadia and hope they don't have Nest.
Another thing too is that one play that I make is I Floodgate their summon, right? So what I did is I read how they were gonna hit me. So when I set my back row, okay, I opened up game 3, Elder, Floodgate, Bad Aim, and I think on Canadia. So what I did is I set Bad Aim closest to the deck. I love to do this when I have 3 back row.
Oh yeah, I love mind gaming with back row when you have triple.
Closest to the game, yeah. So
I find on triple set back row, I find people sniping center more often than not. So I always put my worst trap in the center.
Right. So I set the Floodgate to center. So he summoned, I Floodgated.
Yeah.
Then he chained Swallow's Nest. He summoned, went Perfumer back into Channeler.
Yeah.
So once he went back into Channeler, activated Harpy's Hunting Ground, I chained Bad Aim, popped the Channeler.
Exactly.
And then he was screwed out of the Swallow's Nest play.
Exactly.
So at that point, I top decked the Ritual Beast. I said game over.
Yeah, and that's the big thing about Ritual Beast in the back row is sometimes you only need a turn with these back row cards before you can kick it into high gear.
Exactly. Yep. And then you kick it on the high gear.
Like if you open up like Winda Hawk double back row, that's an insane opener. If you open up Winda triple back row, that's also an amazing opener. It's just that you also have to top deck the other
with back row becomes substantially better.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because like the second standby phase Gold Sark effect on Hawk is actually relevant. You can get back Allura you banished. You can get back a Winda that you banished too. Like sometimes you can save. Like I've had games too where I've had the ambush on turn 1 with the Hawk and I was able to go banish like a Winda, and then next turn, like I can use the other back row to protect the Hawk. Next turn I can go banish, I don't know, like Petalfin, and then ambush, be able to bounce and have an OTK line.
And another thing too is if you banish a Winda on double back row and you top a Tamer, then you're in there.
Oh yeah, well that's the big thing too is that even if you have like Winda right in back row and you don't top. If you don't top another Ritual Beast monster to make a fusion play, you're topping another back row card to interact with your opponent.
You have
so
a lot of
it's another 1-for-1 piece of attrition with your opponent.
Okay, I gotta take out Hunting Ground in this deck before I start. I go in the duel and I'm like.
So there were a lot of people mentioning staple cards, specific ones. Wall Disruption, Chain Disappearance.
Ground plus Swallows kills Fiendish.
And a big one.
Kills Fiendish, but not necessarily Floodgate. If I have a Bad Aim set with Floodgate, what I was actually thinking about is I might cut a Fiendish for a third Bad Aim.
Might not be a bad idea. I like having at least a bit of negate, the Fiendish for a bit of negate and stalling. But it is another trap that a lot of the time doesn't hit the graveyard too often. You kind of have to force it into the graveyard by swinging into it with like Alti Paleo or something.
Maybe for Harpies, Kanadi would be better. If you sit in Kanadia is a little bit better.
It's a little bit better, assuming that you also can retaliate back with aggression.
Yeah,
As
I think that there are
Floodgate is
that is unideal.
the Floodgate is more of a defensive line, and Kanadia also being a defensive line can also be an offensive line as well.
Also, the nice thing about Fiendish is it absolutely can shut down a turn.
What's the last trap? Like, the last trap is Ritual Beast Ambush.
If you Fiendish, you're gonna also keep in mind what the most popular decks are in the game. So,
someone else mentioned Breakthrough Skill. I thought about Breakthrough Skill. I still think I like Fiendish Chain more. The problem with
Fiendish Chain more.
Yeah, the problem I have with Breakthrough Skill is the matchups you want it's too slow. Like, it's great. It'll be great against stuff like Gaia to stop them from doing stuff during your turn. However, it's slow. If they have their thing already set up, that's already kind of a losing proposition, and Breakthrough Skill isn't going to help you come back from that.
The other thing too is like in some matchups like Thunder Dragons, if you open up kind of like Kanahawk plus whatever, Fiendish can stall. That's another thing. Like you can stall that matchup. Like if I go first with like Fiendish Blood, Kanahawk, I can banish Alara and use Fiendish to stall them out.
Yeah,
if they want to sit on the board.
And that
then
matchup,
get the Lara, and then you just win. That's the thing. That's the real thing of it.
A lot of the and a lot of the battle traps weren't already good beforehand, and they're just much worse with Gaia being around.
Yeah.
If Triumid isn't the worst matchup for this deck, it's Gaia, I think. I think Gaia has the potential to do something.
Gaia, though, at least Gaia is a little bit better because if we have bad aim to potentially counter them.
Exactly.
And we can counter them a lot
more. I mean, you have bad aim to count them. I have to deal with the Gaia champion thing, 2 back row, going second every single game.
And I went second against Gaia on every one of my clocks.
Dude, I
would open up.
I cannot go first against Gaia, and if I do go first against Gaia, the game disconnects me almost immediately. Because this game is.
Oh, Shonen World too small. Nah.
I think the Gaia matchup is probably better than I'm making it out to be, but my luck has shown that it's been very bad.
Well, no making hot pockets now.
No make hot. Okay? I can't help it. I'm hungry.
When
Windows on my screen. I have a nice snack to look at least. I have that. It makes me hungry. But yeah, battle traps though. Wall disruption I think is better than drowning. I really do not like drowning Mirror Force Ritual Beast. The main reason is drowning Mirror Force can be used as a defensive measure, but it doesn't contribute to your game plan, which is getting 2 monsters.
It doesn't advance your game state at all.
Like if you open up drowning Mirror Force and Winda, like what are you gonna do? Are you just not gonna set the Winda so you'll have an active drowning Mirror Force?
That's the thing. Yeah, that's what. And the other thing about drowning too is it doesn't advance your game state. So if you let Winda die to get off drowning,
like what are you gonna do? Like. You don't really have it completely diverts from what you're trying to do in your game plan.
This isn't the anime. You can't just Mirror Force and say, well, I win the duel, okay?
Yeah.
People are gonna, first of all, they're gonna suspect drowning in some cases. Because if you just set a 3 back row and a monster, they may think it's Shira, and they may play around it.
Yeah, that's actually a good point too, because Shira is likely to run drowning Mirror Force.
Very relevant. Yeah, exactly. And another thing is you can't play drowning in a deck where it doesn't contribute to it. See, people say, oh, but they play drowning.
You can use drowning as in a deck that doesn't really need to keep a monster on the board at all time. Ritual Beast needs to keep monsters on the board.
The thing with a deck like Shira is it can help advance the game state. With Ritual Beast, unless you literally Winda float, have an ambush, you're not advancing your game state. Not gonna go anywhere.
Made in Britain. Will I play any games? I will be showing off combos in a fair bit with some of the more combo versions.
I will definitely play some games on my stream.
Yeah, I will play games as well. I will screen share my Edo Pro game too, and if you want to, want to show that screen to your stream as well, you're more than happy to, and we can both kind of go with them together.
Yeah, that.
Can you use Mind Break?
Really
what is Mind Break?
You mean Mind Drain?
Mind Drain, I mean, is situational. With a deck like this, like Ritual Beast, considering that it can get pretty bricky sometimes, if anything looks like a side deck card, it should stay as a side deck card. There have been times where like cards like Necro Valley and like Shadow Imprisoning Mirror have been main deck playable, but what if when you bring Shadow Imprisoning Mirror and your opponent goes turn 1 Bear or a bunch like turn 1 Blue Eyes like Dragon Spirit or White, like what are you doing there?
Personally, I don't think we're gonna see enough of Witchcrafter in the KC Cup.
No, not at all. But it's you understand what I mean though, right? And, it's the same kind of idea.
And people will say, well, Necro GG against Thunder Dragon. You don't need Necro to beat them. And if you play Necro, it will actually hurt you more.
Yeah.
Because you'll have to play the game so fragile.
Also, you can't play Necro Valley in Endless Trap Hell version. That's just not a thing you can do.
Yeah.
You dilute your deck. You dilute your deck consistency, which means you probably have to cut traps, which makes you lose interaction. And like the whole point of Endless Trap Hell is just always having live top decks and just being able to outgrind. And Necro Valley doesn't really do that. It just kind of strangleholds your opponent in a weird scenario where like you don't have to use Necro Valley to win those matchups.
There are some of these weird matchups that you may say.
Also, Necro Valley sometimes is just god awful going second.
Yeah. The problem is like some of these matchups in the game, you may say, oh, but they have graveyard interaction. Why wouldn't you use Necro? It actually puts them in kind of a position. There's a lot of decks that can out it. Believe it or not, for everyone in the game who says, oh, Thunder Dragon Necro GG, yeah, they have ways to beat it. A smart Thunder Dragon player runs Adrias, which they can make by tributing over things. Adrias will out there Necro Valley. If you're playing Necro Valley in here, you probably don't have as many back row options. So the Adrias that, you're in a more awkward position. And there are decks like Automat. You may say, well, if they run Automat, they can't cope or head. Yeah, but they'll just bolt it. And then in that spot, then you're in an awkward spot. And Gaia, don't even get me started. Just go cast a Dragonfire on it. Then you lose your Necro altogether.
Memory loss? I would just focus on just having streamlined traps, honestly. These are...
You're free to play?
Yeah,
look,
if you're free to play. Yeah, let's talk about... We have some, free to play traps.
You can mow a lawn. If you can mow a lawn and maybe do some chores around the house, or you have like $5 or $10 off, do the Floodgate and Kanati deal. They are, I think, like $5, $5.99 USD. It might be like $8.99 Canadian. I'm not sure. But if you get this deal, you get essentially a copy of each of 2 of the best traps in the game. Floodgate is so good in the meta. It's so good. If another half-off gem sale comes back, I cannot stress this enough. Get 3 copies of Floodgate Trap Hole. When Pendulums come out, this card is going to be amazing. This card is always good. It's been good since day one.
It has been phenomenal, yes.
And UR Dream Ticket, it's always been a good choice because, you know, nobody's going back to a box where the only good card is Floodgate and pulling for it. Even if there's a half-off gem sale, it's always a good use of your Dream Ticket. You can easily pick up 2 to 3 of these. That's what I did. And then Canada, the same thing. If you like, let's say you're free to play, right? You say, oh, I can't afford Fiendish, right? I can't get triple Fiendish, right? So you get maybe 2 copies. Because I can show you my free to play account, which we're gonna cog with this season. Yeah. Always do.
Here's the thing about free to play as well. There are some really, really cheap free to play options and traps like Curse of Anubis and Windstorm Vitakwa. Those are.
You just go like this, or yeah. And if you pull for Canadia, you can also pull this on your way.
Yeah, I think honestly, if you're gonna start off with a free to play build, maybe start off with, like, you can still aim for like Floodgates and Canadias and you can still play them, but I would play a Destiny Draw version because you'll be able to understand combos more by playing the Destiny Draw version. You'll learn a lot better by using those, and then you can transition over to the Endless Trap version once you actually have all the staples.
Also, I do believe World Bad Aim also came in a structure deck.
It did. It came in the Drake Unity structure deck.
Okay. And that that deck is something.
You can have fun with, quote unquote, you can have fun with that deck as well, I suppose. Doesn't
like
Liberty at
snooze,
Last
that's
work
cool.
when Wind is destroyed? Yes, but the problem with Liberty at Last is it's situational. Only works when destroyed by battle, and your opponent has to have 2 monsters. And also, it doesn't do anything otherwise too. I would recommend against Liberty at Last, because it's just kind of a gimmicky version of Treacherous Trap Hole.
Yeah, if you get
OG says he's free to play and he has 2 Flood and Canadia, and that's fine too. You can play multiple, like you can play double Flood and double Canadia in a Destiny draw build just fine.
And another thing too is if you
show what that might look like.
If you are free to play, I'm gonna type in my chat. I'm gonna type to you guys in my chat some ideas that you can do. Here's like, let's say you're free to play and you're a budget player and you have like $10, like $15 on the side. You say, oh, I have an extra $15 this month. Bills are a bit tough, but I have a little bit that I can spend in the game. Okay? 2 times Dragoonity structure deck, right? Sometimes if you go on sale, you get a sale, right? So you get the first, I believe, for $1.99 USD. Second is $3.99, and you get 2 bad AMs. Okay. Okay. So now you want to play the Endless Cell build. What else can I get? Deals. 2 $5.99 deals. Get both Floodgate and Canadia. Now you have 1 times Flood, 1 times Canadia, and 2 times Bad Aim. Right, so now you already have some decent back row here. Now, if you want to build this build, F-Off Gem Sale, or you have any dream tickets, get another Floodgate, another Canadia, and even if you have 2 times Canadia, 2 times Bad Aim.
Yeah, there's a lot of people here who are free to play and still have like triple Floodgates and whatnot too.
Yeah. I'm just telling you right off the bat, that's probably the best $15 you can spend in the game if you want to play any control. Getting these cards are going to be great. They're great for the future.
Yeah, even if you look at my stream right now, I just kind of went in here and I very quickly decided to build like what I would consider free to play here with very minimal effort here. We have a full
up here.
We have a triple box breakthrough here of the Spirit of the Beast, so we have triple Winda.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull up my free-to-play account on here, and I'm gonna show you guys because I climb. World always sees it. Sees me get cog every season on my free-to-play, so I'm gonna show you. I made ETH on my free-to-play.
Yeah, you can definitely do that if you wanted to. Like, if you were just like starting off brand spanking new, and all you did was went through the box 3 times, and you had the opportunity to use a dream ticket. We'll just say our dream ticket of choice here was Floodgate Trap Hole, and we went into Valiant Soul once and picked up a Canadia and a Neo Ceiling, and then we went in and got ourselves Malevolent Sin. And then also, instead of playing Sphere Creepos, we have a couple Battling Boxes Veils here. I would consider this quite free to play, and if you don't have like everything, right? Let's say you didn't go into the Veil box, you could still, if I get rid of some of these filters here, you could still play, where is it? Text search.
And the one thing I want to teach you guys too is I did almost 0 grinding. Well, I've had my grinds to cog, which is level up Yamayugi, but I have really done not much grinding on this to build this deck at all. So I don't want you guys to think, yeah, but I'm free to play, but I'm gonna have to grind for 10 hours. I'm gonna show you.
Yeah, here's a list right here. Now, very simple. A lot of 1-ofs in the trap department here. 1 Needle, 1 Canadia, 1 Flood, 1 Curse of Anubis, 1 Windstorm of Itaqua. Easy peasy.
Easy. And Windstorm can definitely get you out of some tough situations.
Yeah, it'll let you.
It can stop an OTK board.
Haven't seen that in a while. Yeah, these are extremely free to play. This is what I'd play if you didn't have anything else. Another option you can run too, is a cheeky card trader card called Psychokinesis. If you control a psychic type monster, target 1 card on the field, destroy it, and if you do, take 1,000. So it can pop anything as long as you have a tamer in play.
The only thing with that is that they have like a karma cut or something.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
It's a good
it's
free-to-play
another free to play option that you have access to.
Right. So some really good cards I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you guys my free-to-play account. You're more than welcome to pull this up if you don't have it on your stream as well.
What's up?
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I have
I'm
your
gonna
stream
show-
open right now too.
Okay, awesome. So I'm gonna pull up my
Gaia structure is the ultimate value for new
free-to-play
players, not free
RB
to play,
list.
unfortunately. True.
We will dueling Salfa. What's going on? I'm gonna show you guys
What is up,
my
Dueling Salfa?
free-to-play. Now every season, if you just follow me, or you just follow World,
Also,
I'm gonna tell you, I cog with this every season. Every
gonna
season.
do
Either
this
huge
once
or
more
huge.
here. Gonna give another shout out to Sean for those who are wondering who is on call with me. It's my boy Seanmatrai.
We cog with this every season. If
We
you
both
want to,
pretty
you
much
can play
cog
with
with
me
this.
and World.
If I'm not cogging with Ritual Beast, I'm cogging with Gusto.
Yeah. So if you ever want to join me, join World, because he's always in my chat when I'm climbing with this.
Yeah.
You can hang with us. We can both help you out, and you can watch the cool climb.
Dueling Salfa, how it goes.
It's also bad aim is really nice, guys. On the ladder, if you run into cheeky arrow mage.
Yeah, it's a way to deal with back row, which we don't normally have.
Well, Blessed Winds is generally the back row you want to deal with.
Yeah,
in that
that's
matchup.
the repeatable
Generally
one.
the back row that stops you from winning.
Yeah, Blessed Wins, and you can kind of play around gardening with bounces, but yeah, the one you want to really get rid of is the Blessed Wins, because you can at least
Once you
stop
get
the
Blessed
gardening.
Winds, then you can deck them out. So
Yes.
they're gonna be drawing off of Jasmine anyway, so you can deck them out at that point.
Exactly.
But Blessed Winds is the annoying thing, because then you just reoccur everything, and it gets really annoying. Especially when they can boost up.
I don't think RB is good for
Rosemary,
new players due to deck's complexity. That is true. The deck is quite complicated, but that's also why we're doing this right now, is to teach you guys.
I think honestly,
everything
even
about it.
as a complicated deck, I think it's a great choice for new players, because if
It'll
you're a new player,
help you. It's a deck
it'll
that
get you
requires a
better
lot
at
of
the game.
patience. Yeah, it's one of those decks that
it'll make
might
you
get
a
you.
much better player
Yeah,
in the long run.
it is
If you
quite
can master this, you can play any deck.
pretty much, yes.
Yeah.
Everything else will
you
be
understand the
easy.
complexity.
Fair warning, if you play this deck a lot though, you're gonna find a lot of other decks to be very boring.
Yeah.
So this might be if you come to my stream often, you will see this lovely lady in pretty much every single one of my decks.
So this is my free-to-play account. I did not spend any money. Need to get that 7th extra deck slot, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, that is fine though. You
did
don't
not-
even need like the 7th slot a lot of the time. Like the deck,
So-
even the Destiny Draw version, although you probably want to cut Rampangu if you do this, but you can function completely just fine with just 2 Altia Paleo.
Yeah. 100% free to play here. This whole list didn't spend a penny on. I didn't grind much. Took advantage of half off gem sales. You have 2 needle ceilings, 2 Canadia.
Mad
We caught with
Made in Britain, thank you for the follow.
at 3 floodgate trap holes, the 1 fiendish. Now what I'm gonna do here is I just got the 500 gems I should have from the last box. Yes, we did. So I am gonna go pull for that 3rd fiendish, and we're gonna see if we get it.
I'm gonna do a real sneaky here and try and open another window.
So we are
About
gonna
feet.
try and pull. But
Oh,
again,
24? Alright, let's get it. Guaranteed you are. 99 packs, let's go.
go to essential though. It is not.
Hey,
essential.
Duel Links Alpha, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it.
Can't pay out. Oh, okay. I think I'm
Pangu
on
is
actually.
Pangu is essential, yes. Absolutely. Essential, yes.
Where is that? Where's the infinite? No, that's not it. Shining victory. That's where I'm gonna get my fiendish chain.
Right,
And I'm almost done.
we're gonna try and open up another window right here right now because I said so.
Right. Second fiendish chain. Let's get it. Okay.
I have 7k
Also trying
gems
to
and my
pull
UR
down
tickets never played Ritual Beast. Is it worth the send? A good bonus with Ritual Beast is if you put the time and effort to play the deck and master it, you're gonna have so much fun.
Oh,
You're gonna
gosh.
mollywop everybody, and the deck is not that expensive. It's actually very cheap considering a lot of the decks right now. Even a lot of the structured decks are expensive just because of the text that they're basically forced to play. Ritual Beast has the luxury of being able to play different variants of the deck and use a wide variety of decks and still function just fine.
Forbidden Scripture. Oh man, there's a card I'll never be playing. Oh, what's this? Deltaros.
Deltaros, nice.
Right, that's my second one. I'm building towers on this account too.
Yeah, if you think you can be committed, that's the main thing, decision point in deciding with Ritual Beast. Do you want to commit to, like, playing the deck? If you think you can, like, handle the stress of the timer and whatnot, then absolutely, you're gonna have so much fun. And the deck has been around for so long, and it's still relevant. Should show just how much of the test of time this deck can have. Also, I think we're about to open a window right now.
That's 183.
That is 183.
3 windows. I got to see it live. Let's go.
We might even get another one with the guaranteed deals. Who knows?
Holy macro. Oh my gosh, I just unlocked Weevil.
I don't know how it works. Yeah, we're actually gonna go over combos like fairly soon too.
So
I'm gonna pull up Edo.
Yeah, Tower Knight. We're gonna have full.
Although I feel like RB is in danger of getting hit. It's not that RB is in danger of getting hit. It's mostly the skills around it that cause it to get like hit. How many is that now? We have 183 windows. Maybe 184 in just a moment.
Let's go. Let's see it.
We're gonna do. We don't even have to do. We can skip the rest of these.
Once I get my second Phoenix chain, I'm gonna be.
We opened the sword staying that. Okay, guaranteed you are. I'm so fucking nasty. I'm so nasty.
184.
Told ya.
Let's go.
Windows man right here.
Yep. Exactly.
She comes to me. Let's go. Best $27 I ever spent.
Best $27. All right.
And the best part is we can just reset this box now. Yeah. 167. Counter is lined up. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Do you wanna talk about
Combos.
other matchups? We talked a little bit about like Onomat, right? And
yeah,
like what we should do, like and whatnot. The Gaia matchup is interesting too, right? We've talked about how you want to floodgate the Curse of Dragonfire. A lot of things, if they make, sometimes you might want to make a fusion and you just have to accept the fact that they're just going to 2-for-1 you, but sometimes that's might be okay. But keep in mind, if you do like try and floodgate the fusion, they can change their quick effect to pop something.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. They can.
Someone said, what would you side against Harpies? Probably more chainable back row. You could even side like Sphere Kribos. You could side Sphere Kribos. I wouldn't side back row removal in that matchup. Mostly because if you are expecting silver bullets like poisonous winds, Harpies isn't the matchup where you're going to see poisonous winds. Z low-key dedicated to window, that's cool. An extra stand though, that's nice. We got myself my window though. 184 of them. The TG matchup, we can talk about the TG matchup. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
You have to be good at baiting. You have to understand how you can bait certain things, because a lot of times they can sit on Quirion or go for Black Rose plays.
Yeah.
So, and like there are like Winda is going to be your best set in your best summon in that matchup. Like, because if you go second and you have combo, there's a good chance you're just going to be able to break away the combo from you. So if you open up like Elder Hawk, multiple back row, depending on what your back row is, your choice, that might be best to go for a back row play. But if you see stuff like Survival's End, they have like more dinosaurs, maybe the best play is to try and go for the combo, bait those out early, and then use the back row, and hopefully you can top deck something later on.
Yep.
Magic Deflector is goated against Harpies. It's true.
That's a weird one, though.
It is a very weird one. That's another one of those things that I'd consider side decking, but not main deck. So what I have to say is you have to be a master baiter. You are something
talk
else.
about, because I did face TG in battle phase.
I faced
what I
TG
did.
a lot on my climb. I actually ran into Buns playing TG. And I was playing the Destiny Draw version. My hand was kind of weak though, so he ended up like beating me. But it was a lot closer than I realistically thought it was going to be. But I think the Endless Trap Hell version can do a good job at fighting off the TG, just because you can bait half the combo, and then like set a window after, or even just set a window and rely on some other cheeky things. I think it can go both ways. Like hand traps help a lot in that matchup as well.
Yep. Another thing that I want to bring up here that's actually really important is talking about Ritual Beast in itself. The RP matchup, yeah, Magic Deflector could be something. Bad Aim is, like I said before, is an excellent card in that matchup.
Mm-hmm. I think the Destiny Draw version might actually be better versus TG, just because you have a little more things to act. What someone was saying about baiting them is a lot of the time they will end the field with like a Star Guardian and like some other tuners, like a tuner and another thing, so they can set up a Quirion play. What you can do, especially with Book of Moon and Chalice, is if you feel like you can hit them in the draw phase and standby phase, and they can't activate because their main phase effects. But also, if they try to activate like Star Guardian, you can just Chalice it or Book of Moon it face down. They won't get the effect and just proceed with your combo.
You can.
The only issue is now they're playing more of a Dino package, and they're utilizing stuff like survivals and for extra pops and whatnot.
Yep.
Which is why I don't mind the Endless Trap Hell version against that as well. You have to. The thing about trying to bait TG is it's not immediately obvious what you should do, because you don't know how your opponent's going to react to what you're doing.
Yep.
Like you could set 2 back row. Like if you have Elder Hawk double back row in hand, you can set 2 back row and try to bait battle phase or end phase, and they could just let it go through. Or they might just go Black Rose pop your back row, and then you can proceed to go Elder Hawk and combo them to death. Or you can go like set 2 back row, and if you try to pass, they could just not do anything, and then just have MSTs or lances and just kind of kill you that way.
Yep, exactly.
Necro Valley barely hurts this deck. I found it the hard way. It does hurt this deck though. You just have to play a little bit smarter to mitigate it.
Yeah, but I'm not a big fan of Secret Scroll of techniques.
It's an interesting card. It's like pulling the rug as well. There's situational tech choices that can come up, but again, it's for a lot of matchup. It's like a lot of decks. It's like if it's a side deck, looks like a side deck card, it should stay a side deck card.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Should we go in the combo now? I think we could talk.
Do you want to talk about doing combos now?
Yeah, let's do that.
Sure. I'm gonna close out of Duel Links here then for now, and I'm gonna bring up Yugioh Pro.
Yeah.
And yeah, just give me 1 second.
So that way, both people we can watch that.
I have like this effectively the same lists. Thunder Dragon could be a problem. Thunder Dragon's not that bad of a matchup. As long as you know what you're doing. You have to open pretty bad for Thunder Dragon to be a bad matchup.
Yeah, there's so many hands that you can just say, okay, we could pass against Thunder Dragons. Even with hands that are suspects sometimes in other matchups, you're going to be fine against them. You'd have to open up like triple Conologue to lose.
Alright, is my stream still showing for you, Sean? Can you see my Yugioh Pro?
Okay, hold on.
It doesn't look like it. I'm gonna show off my Yugioh Pro thing here. My screen.
No, I can't see it.
Okay, I'm gonna show it off right now. Let me know how the quality. Quality should be good. If you want to show screen share this to your stream, you're more than happy to as well.
Okay.
And I'll just kind of watch your screen as well.
Okay. Let me do this. Okay, so I should be able to get this.
So for the sake of showing off combos, I've got this built right now. Very similar to what I've had in there. We don't need to worry about Destiny Draw because we're just going to go over combos. Just kind of turn 1 plays you can do with the deck. There's a lot of different versions, different setups you can do. And then I'll also do an Endless Trap Hell version. Just kind of show what you want to be doing with your combos in Endless Trap Hell and what you want to set up. The best thing about Endless Trap Hell Elder Hawk combos is the turn 1 is almost always the same. It's always going to be a scenario where you have double Winda Banish plus the third monster, whether it's Hawk or Elder. Just because ending on multiple traps and double Winda is just such an easier way to wall up. Because you can go the deck out strategy avenue if you want to, and you can eventually set up to a point where you can just outgrind your opponent with like pedal fin bounces or just attacking with ulti paleo, forcing out their back row and just winning the attrition war. Yeah, so if you want to full screen that there.
There we go. And let's do this. Get this overlay here.
Alright, cool. Right, so... Alright, so we're gonna test hands. Alright, so look at that. We opened up Elder Hawk and Laura, so we can show off...
You can see World's gameplay right in front.
So I'm gonna show you... I'm not gonna show off the... I'm gonna show off the Elder Hawk combo no Pangu in the deck.
To be adhesive is not good. You know what I'm gonna have to be
NFT Ajax. Thank you for the follow. So we're gonna normal summon Elder. Normal summon
Lusitania, not good.
You have to activate the Hawk here. We're not going to activate anything else here. So what we're going to do here is we have double return here in Pangu. I'm going to show you what you're going to do with El Pangu here. We're going to banish a Paleo. And then we're going to special summon Ulticano Hawk. Check the field. No, it's fine. I'm actually just going to get rid of this Book of Moon just inside of my hand. Activate Ulticano Hawk using the first effect here. You're going to target the Apelio and the Elder. And then you're going to click yes to chain to tag out. And you're going to summon the Elder and the Hawk here. Doesn't matter what zones you put them in. Set up for this. And then we can search the return here. And let's just assume that Laura isn't in our hand here. So we're going to... Because we want to keep Laura for later anyway. Generally speaking. So now we're going to do our second banish here. Our second banish here is going to be Winda, most likely.
Banish the best girl.
Banish the best girl. And then we can go back into Ulticano Hawk using these two. Again, just imagine the Laura isn't in the hand here. We're going to activate the effect. We're just going to send two. Let's keep the Winda in the banish pile here. Chain out the card. Nope, we don't want the ready return yet. So now we're going to search the Winda here. Activate our return now to banish the Winda, to summon the Apelio. Activate another card? No, we're fine. Let's put the Paleo wherever. Activate the Apelio. We can banish the Hawk here, and then we can actually tag out of the Ulticano Hawk, summon the double Winda. And then if you wanted to, you could realistically do another search if you wanted to follow up Laura, but because we have Laura already in hand, we can just go into Ulti Pedalfin here. And then that'll be the end of our turn here. And then on opponent's turn, we can use the Apelio to banish the Elder here, and that'll give us an Ulti Pedal. That'll give us Ulti Pedalfin at 3,300. Plus, we get a tag out into double Winda. And then also, if one of the windows is destroyed, we can go back into Ulti Pedalfin and tag out into the Elder Hawk. That'll be in the banish pile afterwards, and that'll set you up.
Double tag out setup. Yep.
Yeah.
Also, if you go up against
they say they can't see the gameplay. Really? Oh shoot. Well, I'm gonna exit this, and then I'm going to save the replay. I don't know why the gameplay is not showing. That's really weird. Hold on, let me
see it. I see it in OBS on my side.
You see it on your side though. They don't see it on my side, so I'm gonna have to open up.
Hold on.
And then screen share for you, Sean. Just 1 second. That's really weird. I wonder if it will show the replays then.
Okay.
I'll save that replay and then
Price.
And see if it shows there. So I'll go to replays. I have combo saved here already. Is it this one? Did I just do this one? No, this is TCG. This one. Load it. Yeah, this is the one I just did. Okay, it's showing on screen now. So this is what I did for those who just missed it. Normal summon Elder, normal summon Hawk, banish a Apelio, go in. We're gonna set the Book of Moon because I don't want the delay anymore. So target the Apelio, target the Elder, chain tag out, target Elder, Canna Hawk, send the Apelio to the graveyard, search the return. Hawk, banish Winda, go into Ulti Canna Hawk, do a raw send here, send the Elder and the Hawk to the graveyard, search return, activate return, banish Winda, summon Apelio from the graveyard, Apelio, banish Hawk, tag out, double Winda, fuse into Ulti Petalfin, and then yeah. By the end of this, you will have, on your opponent's turn, you will have Elder, Hawk, double Winda banished. And yeah, you'll be able to do multiple takeouts, and the window wall is basically assembled. And then you can do your searches afterwards, what you need, search a Pelio, or search Petalfin, banish Petalfin, however you see fit and how your opponent reacts. So that's Elder Hawk. There's another replay here. I think that's TCG though. Yes. So we're going to go back.
There's another card you could side against Gaia. I was siding Dust Tornado for Gaia. That's a good matchup. Winda can control the game on her own, so now if you're able to split that.
Alright, cool. I actually drew, my new hand here is Elder.
Oh, cool, you drew the nuts.
Yeah, this hand is insane. Alright, so I'm gonna do, we can do the same variation as the last combo we did, but, so with the return in hand, we can do a variation that looks somewhat like this. Very, very similar. It's gonna be effectively... Can I summon this, please?
Are you playing Pengu in this build or no?
There is a Pengu in this build. I'll go over Pengu combos after. I'm just going over the combos right now as if we didn't have Pengu in our build. So again, same thing.
That's good.
Summon or banish the Apelio. Same kind of combo here. Set up this. Activate. First effect. Same thing. Apelio Elder. Click yes on the tag out. Oh, activate. Summon Elder, summon Canna Hawk. And there. Apelio's gonna get sent to the graveyard. We're gonna search the Winda now. We get to banish Winda here. Depending on matchups, you might banish something else. Like you could banish Petalfin here. Against like Desperado at this point, it would be correct to banish Petalfin. Oh wait, I don't want to activate that. Can I cancel that? No.
You should. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna banish Winda here. And now we don't have to go into that. We can activate the return, banish the Winda, summon the Apelio.
That Laura set up.
Yeah, for that.
Follow up for Laura.
In some matchups, you will want to summon the Apelio in defense mode, because there will be
Lunalight, for example.
Lunalight, you want to make sure that you have things in defense mode 100%.
Even if you don't die, then you're gonna be susceptible to dangerous 100 points of burn damage.
Is it confirming this one's correct? This is what it's going to look like. Alright, so now we can go back into a fusion here, and we can actually do a search. We have the return there, return Winda, and we haven't summoned the Windas yet, so we can actually tag out here for Winda.
Yep. And you're looking...
And that'll give us a search for the Laura.
You have so many options. It's incredible.
And then,
in a board state like this.
So this is what variation what happens. The way this combo happens is if you end up having, we can go multi-pedal here too, or you can do another search. It's up to you. These combos set up.
Laura, Bond, Petalfin.
Yeah, we could have searched another card here because like this is our banish pile already now. This is without the Apelio banish, and the reason why it looks bigger already.
Insanely good.
The reason why it looks.
This game state, Petalfin's insanely good here against Thunder Dragons.
Oh yeah, non-fusion area. Ritual Beasts contact fusions aren't fusion summons; they're special summons. So like it's around non-fusion area.
They're special summons. Yeah.
So yeah, the reason why this looks bigger here is because we didn't have to do a raw send for the second search with Ulti Canna Hawk here. We were able to tag out because we opened up Winda or return, so we were able to do this deviation of this combo. Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Cool.
Look at you.
Look at this. I'm a natural born Ritual Beast player. What can I say?
See this?
All right. So now this is going to be the Elder Hawk with Pengu involved. Right. So we can go normal summon Elder, normal summon Hawk, and you're going to notice that this combo is going to use a little bit more resources, but you're going to be set up a lot more. So now we're gonna use the Hawk banish here to banish the Pengu that is now in our deck. We're gonna go into Ulti Canna Hawk.
Gonna go up 10 times to Chinatown and back.
Basically. So we're gonna target the Pengu and the Hawk. And we're gonna chain the tag out. And we're gonna summon the Elder and the Pengu, not the Hawk here. You want to summon the Pengu here.
Somewhat of a TCG setup.
Yeah. Well, the TCG setup here, I actually would send Pengu to the graveyard because for the TCG combo, we would search Laura here and then banish the Paleo and then go into Ulti and Falcos.
Yeah.
We'd go into Ulti and Falcos and then have a Laura. Exactly.
Yep, exactly.
All right, so now we're at the step where we can search either Winda or Return. I'm obviously going to search Winda first because of course I am. Activate Pengu's effect here now. Do we activate another effect? Nope. We're just going to banish the Ulti Paleo to send a little Paleo.
I'll just casually change his book just to show off.
I mean, I could get it on my hand.
Yeah, you could.
Alright, and then we go... We'll watch us be like our opponents, right? We're going to activate the effect here. We're going to go target these two. And then we're going to... Our opponent's going to chain their Book of Moon. Target Arcana Hawk. Oh, wait, it didn't give me the option. I didn't have self-chain on. Oopsie. Alright, let's try it again. Ooh, this hand sucks. Well, actually, not really.
Okay, nobody saw that. Nobody saw
that. I guess I need to have always chain on to do that. It's okay.
See, now they're betraying you.
No. Okay. Well, here's a hand.
Okay, you're good.
I still want another Elder Hawk hand though. First, I want to go back and do that. Oh my God.
There you go. Oh
what
my
a hand.
gosh.
All right, yes. Let's try it again. This time, let's not. No more delays in our hand. Let's go. Now I can legally cheat. Oh, this hand's so disgusting.
I was yapping the chat and I let a Paleo die to side. You're good.
Oh. Alrighty. So let's do this the proper way this time without flipping ourselves down. So yeah, again, for those who didn't really see it, because you didn't see it, I swear, summon the Pengu here, send the Hawk to the graveyard. Now we have Research and Return here, we already have Winda, so we're pretty much off to the races now.
Yeah, you got the God Hand of God Hands.
This hand is disgusting.
Got at least 2 searches and massive follow-up.
Do that.
Full setup.
Yeah, we can even go. What was it here again?
So
we have the Hawk
Return, banish the Paleo, and then banish
we're gonna
the
go
Hawk
Return, banish the Winda, bring back the Apelio. Use the Apelio here. Banish the Hawk and Grave. We haven't summoned Hawk yet, keep in mind, so we can go back into Ulticana Hawk. Activate the effect here. Target the Ulti Paleo and the Canna Hawk. Chain the tag out. Summon the Winda. Canna Hawk. Put the Canna Hawk here. Put the Winda nice in center. She's the star of the show, such as our Laura. Activate the effect of Canna Hawk here. We banish the second Winda here. And then we end. We can even do another search here if we wanted to, and still have the full tag out set up here.
You could. Even
that's the thing. That's the crazy thing about the Rampangu setup, is we have 5. We have 5 Ritual Beasts here, so we could realistically, in some matchups, do another search for another RB card.
Yeah, you could just
like we can send the Pengu and the Canna Hawk to the graveyard, leave the Windows and the Elder banished, and then on opponent's turn we can banish like the Hawk, right? And then we have again just double take out the Winda plus another tag out into Elder Hawk. Easy peasy, and that gives you the extra search. You can search a Petalfin if you're up against like Thunder Dragons, for example. But at this point, you can search Bond if you want to have a little bit more defense lines. You can search up another Elder even, because if you top deck another Ritual Beast, you have many avenues that you can take. Spirit Dragon is a card you're going to hate playing RB. True.
Opponent probably scoops because they have no idea what the hell just happened.
Alright, so a hand like this is kind of like weak.
Sketchy. Yeah.
You mean you can still end on a fusion line too. There's actually some cute things you can do as well with some of these setups. Like we could theoretically banish the Winda here, right? We can activate the return. We could have even... Actually, no, we have no to do this. We have to do it this way. Summon the Pengu here, right? We can actually summon the Pengu here. Get a random effect off here. This is going to eat up a lot of resources by doing so. But you can actually bond. You can bond here the two Ritual Beast monsters for an Ulti Canohawk. And we actually still have a line here. So we can activate the Canohawk, target the Ulti Paleo and the Winda. Tag out into the Winda and the Canohawk. 1, 2. Get ourselves a Laura. Activate. We can banish either Elder or Winda here is fine. If we banish Elder here, it'll give us an additional takeout with Winda. If we banish a Winda here, then we just can have double Winda anyway. Because we have the Laura here, it's like kind of fine anyway. Whatever we can float into, we can get back. And look at that. We managed to turn a double beast hand into a combo. Yeah, we only have 2 cards here, but look at this. We actually turned that into an actual banish pile. We have double Winda set up. Just little things you can do, and that's why, Sean, that's why you play Bond in these builds. It's because we can do stuff like this, and now we have a full banish pile set up. Like this Winda could have been an Elder, and we could have been able to take on the Elder Hawk, and then, or Winda Hawk, or Winda Pengu.
Stop making fun of me! Damn it.
But yeah, that's a deviation you can do with a weird hand like that. Like those are the kind of the innovative and like improvised stuff you can do. This hand you don't really do anything, or you don't really want to do anything with it. Elder Hawk. This hand is kind of neat too. This is another one of those hands where you would just go. I'll show you.
Elder, you're generally gonna Hawk over Pengu most of the time if you have the option to go both.
Yeah, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna imagine we're going second here, right?
Your hand, bro.
Let's imagine we're going second, and we're gonna try and go for the OTK line. So we could go. Our opponent has summoned one. Like they set a monster and they pass, right? This is how we're gonna OTK through it. We're gonna normal summon Elder. We're gonna normal summon Hawk. We're gonna banish a Paleo here because we have Return in our hand. This is very important. Why we banish Paleo here is we only do this if we have Return or like Winda in our hand, and we happen to have Return.
It saves a lot of resources to do this.
Yes.
As well.
So now we'll go back into here. Notice a lot of the starting combos kind of look the same too. We're gonna have the same kind of setup here as well, where we're gonna send a Paleo to the graveyard, summon the Elder, summon the Canohawk.
With back row affection, but a monster quick effect isn't. They're both interactions.
So now we search the Winda here, and instead of setting on the Winda line here, double Winda, we're gonna get double Winda this way anyway. But because we're going second, we can banish Petalfin now. We can activate the Return. Banish the Winda, summon the Apelio still.
Apelio.
Put the Apelio here.
Banish the Return.
Banish the Return, exactly. If
it'll
let me.
Saying one step ahead of you. Yeah, if it actually lets you.
Yeah.
Come on, Eva Pro, no microwave.
Yeah,
I told you, World, stop microwaving those top pockets.
Wait, is that what's going on here? Are we microwaving more stuff?
Yeah, apparently.
Right. So we can do this now. We can go. Let's target the Return again. Target one of the RBC summon Winda, summon Petalfin. Again, do it like this. Get a search here. We can search our second Winda now. Our Petalfin will banish. Unfortunately, it's not going to let us banish here due to card effects. But we would banish the Winda here. Winda would get banished. Then we would go into... Yeah, we search Bond.
We search the card Sean doesn't play.
Yeah, exactly. So then, yeah, we would activate here. This Winda would be banished, by the way. And then, yeah, we would just send 2 to the graveyard. Search for the Bond. And then we would have 1923. This is lethal through Sphere Kribo. And then we Bond.
Yeah.
Pawning these 2 away. Also, when you do this play, keep the Elder banished. I ended up sending it to the graveyard. You're gonna want to keep the Elder still banished and just send one of the other ones to the graveyard, because that's what's gonna, if they somehow have like a veil or something, or they have like multiple hand traps, then it's what's gonna allow you to be able to like take out into Winda, Apelio. I guess technically you can still do it anyway. It doesn't matter. You take out to Winda, Apelio, Apelio banishes Elder, and then you can take out into Elder Petalfin. Yeah. So that was that. Let's find a. Dude, these Elder Canahawk hands are insane. We've already done like all the Elder Canahawk deviations.
Well, win this man, so you're naturally born.
Natural.
Okay, that's a dookie hand.
Yeah, we're gonna find. I want to find a Hawk Winda return hand. And then obviously you can do stuff with Petalfin go in second if you have Elder, right? Elder, Petalfin, effect bounce, and do some searches that way. Or you can even do stuff. A lot of combo like OTK stuff too is like if you have. Sometimes you might even want to just go into Ulti Canahawk with a hand and then just do a raw send, not take out, so you can hit for 1400. Have a live takeout still, bond into 2600 lethal. All right, so we finally got one of these hands. So this is a standard. This is a standard Hawk Winda return. This combo also works with Laura. The only issue with it is that it uses up your Laura, so you don't have that avenue for the rest of the game. But with Elder Hawk Winda, this is a perfect hand. You go activate the Hawk here to banish the Elder. Activate our return. Banish the Winda. Summon the Elder.
Winda here, guys, or you're gonna really mess up your line.
Yeah, you don't want to summon Winda there. You want to summon Winda on the second part here. So go into Ulti Canahawk, activate, target the Canahawk, and wait, where was? Yeah, we summoned Elder. So yeah, summon Canahawk and Winda. I mean, you got me confused. You got me thinking about Winda. Damn it, wait, I'm always thinking about Winda. Damn it! Summon, send the Elder. We get to search our Laura now. And then, I don't need to check the field. Activate again. This is a very simple combo. It's about a lot of very fast steps. And then, just like that.
There's a way to extend it to go into double return, but that's where it comes up.
Yeah, you don't want to use all your resources turn one like that, because all it's going to do is it's just going to have like an extra body on board, which is just probably going to die anyway. Yeah. So you're going to want to rather just sit up like this and just have this set up here, double Winda, and then one of the Windas can float into a Paleo, which can banish the Elder, and then the other Winda can float into a fusion and tag out. And that's how you have that line defense. Now, we have maybe one more combo to go over, I think. I think there's one specific combo I want to go over, and it is a very, very important combo. And quite honestly, it's my favorite combo. I just need to get a hand that has it. Oh, wait, that one was perfect. Oh, this one's perfect too. All right, you ready? My favorite combo. Yeah. Set Winda Pass. I love Winda face down position. What can I say?
There's one combo we should probably go over, and that's the Elder Petalfin OTK. Just when you open the Elder Petalfin itself.
Yeah, we can try that for sure.
Elder Pangu, I mean.
Wait, Elder Pangu. Oh yeah. I didn't even do Elder Pangu at all. Good observation. Right there. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. I almost forgot that we even had Elder Pangu combos. But yeah, same kind of idea. You'll notice that a lot of the combos look quite similar. Here, big banish, ulti Paleo, send a Paleo. And then go into this one you have to be a little bit careful for, because you do have to use one of your ulti Canahawks as bait, so you need to make sure you don't get caught with your pants down. Yeah. And like lose your second ulti Canahawk.
If you're going for OTK and not setup, you're gonna dump Petalfin instead.
I may have gone for an OTK line that caused me to lose my second ulti Canahawk though, and they actually had the Temperance.
Oh no!
It was a little unfortunate, but sometimes you gotta have the big balls and go for it. So yeah, we send the ulti Paleo, we search the Winda here. We're gonna activate the Pangu now to banish the ulti Canahawk now. Send Canahawk. Then we can we can activate the return now. If you feel like you need to play around needle sailing, go for it. You can go into an ulti Canahawk at this point before doing this line. That if you want to play around needle sailing, that's a way you can do it. Activate the Paleo, banish. Yeah, and you'll see that this combo now all of a sudden looks exactly like the previous Elder Hawk Pangu combo. So that, and Winda. Take out.
Go into window.
Window Hawk. Search our Laura. Most of the time you search on Laura. In a matchup against Thunder Dragon here, because we have another RB in hand, I would honestly search Petalfin. And then yeah, we want to do a banish here. But I want to search Petalfin because of our ability to completely wall them.
You can always get Laura later against them.
Well, that's the big thing here. Like if we're up against Thunder Dragons, right? And our end result is here. Like this is like here. If they set up Bouncer, we can banish, and they can't run over us like at all. Because the only way to really get rid of this would be M7. So if they go to M7, we can still take out, and then like Levi can't deal with the windows. So if they do go Bouncer and like Levi, they kill the Apelio. Apelio dies. This is our board. And then on our turn, they have what, Levi and Bouncer. We can go normal summon the Petalfin, because this won't be here anymore. We go normal summon the Petalfin, use the hawk that was in our hand before, bounce the Bouncer, the force negate. Then we can take out into like an Elder and a Hawk, do another banish for like a Palette, like for whatever we might be missing. You could even maybe do the Lore. Since we already normal summoned, you probably banish Lore here just to have more like searches and tag outs. And then you can do a return play with an extra bounce later. You can use the Petalfin that's in play plus the Tamer to set up another search, tag out, bounce, do another search, another tag out, and you can do a raw search, return a Paleo, and then at this point you can have like Bond and like just go for a Bond lethal play. You'll have Ulticana Hawk, a Paleo again, and Bond. 3 attacks, OTKs with Kuribo. So that's another avenue you can go with this combo. Otherwise, you can just search the Laura and you'd be fine. And again, there's 5 here. You could even do another search. Let's find... I have another version, the Endless Trap Hell version of the deck somewhere. Yeah. So this is... let's see if I can get an Elder Hawk here to kind of show you what you'd want to do with oh yeah, so this, like I said before, what you can do going second against the decks is you can, like, very simple, Hawk, banish Winda, you know, you set your ambush, then you can crash your Hawk into their monster, and then you can ambush the Hawk in the Winda back, and that way you can still end on like a Winda line.
Yep.
Is very helpful. Yeah, I want to open up an Elder Hawk hand. Elder Petalfin's a little hard to explain when we have, when we don't actually have an opponent to activate our effects on. I mean, we're getting a lot of God Hand double window draws. Alright, perfect. So how you're going to want to set this almost every single time with Endless Trap Hell is because we don't have the return, right? We don't have that avenue of play. So this is very, very, very simple. Banish Winda. Then we're going to go into one of our fusions. It doesn't really matter which one, because we're just going to tag out of here right away. Into Elder, Kanahawk. And you're going to do this a lot in this build too, because this is what's going to allow you to get an extra card in the banish. And for turn 1 plays, we just banish a second copy of Winda. Because it's safe to do this anyway. If they had interaction to interrupt our play, like our Elder Kanahawk, they would have done it anyway. So if you got to this step, you're pretty much already safe to do this. Then we can go into Ulticanahawk, activate the effect, and then this section here is kind of up to your choice what you want to actually send to the graveyard. But we're gonna do a search tag out. You can send either Hawk to the graveyard or Elder. If you send Elder to the graveyard, you're doing this under the assumption that you think you can tag out into Winda Hawk during the end phase. Otherwise, if you don't think you can tag out and you have to tag out into Windas and float, again, this setup here allows you to still float into a Paleo, banish Hawk, and then have another tag out into Elder Hawk. But if nothing else like happens, I guess you can end on. You'll be able to take out of your Ulti Petalfin to Ulti double Winda, and then you can still go into your Ulti Paleo play, and then still normal summon Winda, get back the Hawk, and then continue to play afterwards. But generally, for this build, you want to set up so you have double Winda banished at any given time, because that's what's going to give you the best defensive capabilities. And yeah, I think that should basically cover most of the combos, honestly, for both like a lot of these combos are relatively the same. And the Endless Trap Hell version 1 this is generally the configuration I think you want to do most of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Alrighty, so I think that wraps up the combo section of that there.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Not sure if you got anything else you might want to show off. I'm gonna open up Duel Links again. What condition do we want to summon Daigusto Emerald? It's just as another way to like replenish resources. Like if you go into a long game, you get double bodies and you can like need more ways to deck out. It's generally more as like another deck out kind of strategy. Ulti Pele is unaffected when it battles, so it loses a Pele boost. Yes, that is true. It's just when it attacks. If it is attacked, it keeps the boost. If it's only when it attacks.